left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left, left, left. Squad up. It don't matter where you been. It don't matter where you been.
Hop on in, no time to waste.
Hop on in, no time to waste.
Pull up with the bob, superheroes, no capes.
Pull up with the bar, superheroes, no capes.
Squad up. Run it back.
Squad up, run it back. It's not a game, it's a way of life.
Squad up.
Squad up, back for more, back for more.
Squad up.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of the Gamers Council. Holy
Squad
shit,
up.
dude! Are you pumped?
go.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
I'm pumped now.
The Black Viking
Shit.
put that out there, and I thought, man, we got to use that in the opener tonight to wake everybody
Yeah.
up. Holy shnikes, dude!
Shout out
We
to
are
the Black Bike Man.
Exactly, and man, what hell of a show we're gonna have tonight. We're gonna take you downtown with the speculation masters. That's right. PM and the PM is in the house. Mav and Pong. So Mav, welcome, sir.
What is going on, man? Let's all squat up and go play some Call of Duty right now because
Let's
I am
go. Let's
hyped.
leave.
Wait, we still have
Let's
to
do
buy
it.
it. I'll wait. I'll wait. This is
yeah.
a couple months.
But it's
Or rent it.
Coming to Game Pass.
Oh wait, I
Day
never
one
have to
Game
buy
Pass.
Call
We
of
don't
Duty
buy
again.
games.
Yeah, we those
right.
welfare gamers.
Exactly. Oh
Yeah.
Lord, Pong. So welcome, buddy. Welcome, dude.
Hey, finally back on the Gamers Council. What a night to be here too. What a week of news. Gaming is freaking great, everybody. And yes, Sarah Bond did not lie. Phil Spencer did not lie. Matt Booty did not lie, despite what the media seems to think. They were telling the truth the entire time. So that's right, as Mav said, Call of Duty coming to Game Pass. But we got a lot to get into, but it's great to be here with Dave. And of course, RHETRI. It's been too long,
sir.
fellas. And I know it's been a minute. I've been promising you guys I was going to be back on here. And my God, you got my brother Mav. We've podcasted 4 days in a row together now. So we're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to get into speculation town. We got Christmas, Gamers Christmas coming up. Showcase season is upon us. Let's get down to business, gentlemen. Let's do this.
It's going to be fantastic. And of course, my co-host, the reason this show is here and as good as it is doing is the man himself, RHETRI. RHETRI, welcome, buddy.
Yes, sir. I'm ready to talk some shit tonight, man. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm always ready to talk shit.
Well, look
I'm
who we got in
excited for this
chat already.
showcase, man. Yeah, hopefully we're not getting demonetized by my mouth. But I warned you, Dave, you know
what?
that
I
I'm
don't
like
care.
that. So
It's
I
all
know
good.
you're good with
It's
it.
all good. And look, we got Dirt Griggity in the house. We got
What's up,
Joey
Dirt?
in the house.
Yeah.
RSJ fan, Def Leppard, Adele. Oh my gosh, Def Leppard. I mean, so many awesome members of the community. And oh my God, even look who else is here. Do you see it?
I don't.
My
Who are you talking about?
excuse. Oh, you don't see it? Oh, well, you'll hear it.
Why so serious?
Is here as well. That's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Dreadpool's
buddy?
in the house. Love it. I love it. Dreadpool's got a new movie coming out, right? Oh, wait, wrong Dreadpool. Anyway, so yeah, it's dude, it's gonna be a good night tonight. Welcome everybody. Over 75 people watching us right now, and that's in I guess on YouTube and on X. Yeah, look at that. I'm coming out both places. I love it. And man, there's a lot of good stuff tonight, and we are really got a lot of topics to go over, and got God knows where it's going to go and where it's going to derail, but we're going to bring in the chat as much as we can, and of course, like I said, with Mav, I can't even talk. I'm trying to say Pong and Mav.
Mom here.
Let's get her done.
Can you make me some more hot?
I'm waiting.
Mom.
It's
the
a
phone.
It's
said
about
Mom.
din time.
Mom.
Let's go.
Mom.
Where's my chocolate milk?
See what happens when you fuck up, Dave? We just pounced.
Mom,
Well,
Paw
thanks,
here,
guys.
everybody.
Next show, guys.
We're
Thanks
gonna
for being here.
talk some net gaming there, dudes. Let's get down to it.
Fuck me. Okay, we're gonna redo the show. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Fuck's sake. Oh goodness. Well, yeah. Anyway, what I was trying to say was, with Mav and Pong, we're gonna let them really get into deep conversations tonight. So we're gonna let them run with their ideas and theories and stuff. So we're really excited to have them here. And with that said, before I turn the reins over to RHETRI, just about ready to do RHETRI, I am going to do a little gifting real quick. Boom. So there we go. I just gave out 5 memberships to get
Let's
this.
go,
Dave.
Dave. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. That's right. The
Choo-choo,
hype
bitches.
train has
Let's go.
started for the Gamers Council. That's right, everybody aboard as we're cruising along. We usually start these shows at Mach 2.0, but that got us right to a Mach 2.5. Let's go, everybody. Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo. I have some requests to bring that along with tonight, Dave, so I had to do it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Thank you, sir. I love it.
He
I
went
love it.
full radio on us just then. I was like, go ahead, Pong, do your thing, brother.
Exactly. So who all got one?
Yeah, so Luis got one, Paul got one, let's see, Def Leppard got one, congrats, Xbox Expansion Pass got one, and Joey got one. Let's go.
Right.
Congratulations,
Don't forget,
guys. Welcome
you
to the
guys
council.
have access to all those emojis, and there's a ton of them. A lot of great ones up there. So,
Yeah.
so go at it, have fun, burn
Use
them
them,
up.
abuse them.
Exactly. RHETRI, what's up, man? Where are we
Yes,
going
sir.
first?
We always, we go to the same spot we always do in the beginning. We ask you guys what games you've been playing and any movies and TV shows that have caught your interest. We'll start with you in the upper left-hand corner. Mav, sir, what have you been playing?
Balatro. I'm addicted to that game still. Trying to
Nice.
beat all the decks and raising up the difficulty levels and all that kind of stuff. So I've been playing that. Manor Lords, Halo Infinite, Starfield with the update. I've been playing just a multitude of random things. I've been thinking about getting into Homeworld and go ahead and get
Do
that.
it.
But
Do it.
there's so many other things, man. And Hellblade's about to come out in 2 days. So I know I could beat that probably in a day though, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. There's just so much to play, but overall I've been grazing. I've just been doing my graze thing, playing
Same.
a little bit of this and that, and just loving what we all have to play right now, because there's so much, bro. But it's about to get even crazier, because we're the second half of this year, we're gonna get hit with an onslaught, and I don't know what to do about it. I literally don't know. But as far as shows go, we've been doing this thing to where I've been forcing my wife to watch great movies, and
Forcing her.
yeah,
Keep her
so-
eyes open. Watch it.
Well,
Yeah.
she's like opened her eyes a little bit, like something has changed in her, so where she started appreciating like different kinds of movies now for some
Nice.
reason. I don't know
Love to see
why.
that.
It was like one movie caught her attention. Now she's willing to watch all the like westerns and like action movies and war movies and stuff. And so
Ooh, nice,
I
dude.
got her to finally watch Saving Private Ryan.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Top,
so that was
top 3 of all time war movies.
that was great.
Oh my god. So
Last
good.
night we watched Braveheart.
Oh my
Yo,
dude.
you got
Yeah,
her
we're
on all the
speaking-
classes,
dude,
I,
you're
brother.
I,
Let's
my
go.
language.
man, it's like Christmas,
Yeah.
dude. So we
And
have
she's
this,
still enjoying every one of them.
yeah. Well, she
Braveheart's a long movie
yeah,
too.
It
man.
is 3 hours. You know.
Yeah.
She likes some of them more than the others, right? But what I did is I wrote down a bunch of movies and we wadded them up into little balls of paper and put them in a plastic bag.
I love
and then
that.
she she like picks one out of the bag, and that whatever it is, we gotta watch.
Can't change
right?
it. Can't change it. Yeah.
We just Luke said watch Ministry of Ungenitally Warfare. We just watched that the other night too. Yeah. It was absolutely awesome. And as far as shows go, we watched this show recently called Baby Reindeer.
Oh, it's good.
It is good. It is dark.
messed up.
It is
Yep.
it is great. Psychological. If you like watching movies about people that have mental issues, then this is the this is the show for you. I mean, and it is like real. It's like goes places, but it's just really engaging and a good show overall. So, if you like watching messed up stuff, watch Baby Reindeer on Netflix.
Which I do. I definitely back up that recommendation. It's really good.
Yeah. And then we
Not
still
now,
have
RSJ. Watch it later. Watch us right now. I'm just kidding.
I've been also like, for some reason I still watch Oak Island, on History Channel.
Is that one of those where like people are naked on the island or something?
No.
Or is it like,
This
dude.
it's Cursed
treasure
on Oak
hunt.
Island.
I don't know.
It's where they've been digging in a hole for 15 years, hoping they're going to eventually find something.
Oh.
Yeah.
I watch it too, man, religiously.
Hey, but I don't know what, like, I can't fathom the amount of money that has been put into this show over 15 years in the hopes that they could find some kind of treasure and stuff. It's just it's just insanity to me, but it's still entertaining to watch these guys dig around and find old stuff and talk about it like it's a very significant find. That's what they always say.
Well,
So
what's
it's
cool about
fun to
that?
watch.
Yeah. They actually, it's like the #1 show on that channel.
Yeah.
And it's like they make a shit ton of money. So they actually have what's called a research budget now. They have for the last
Right.
5 years. So the show gives them like several
Well, they
million
better,
dollars.
because
to
I don't know
spend.
how they're going to afford to keep doing what they
He's
do.
saying they don't find
Exactly.
any gold, so
Well,
yeah.
they find little things that go, oh, this is reason to keep going, right? But
Yeah.
they literally do this. They could do 20 episodes a season, bro.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's
that's a lot
insane.
this day
but
and age.
It's fun to watch. They actually find some cool stuff sometimes.
But next year, Mav.
Next year. But the thing on the show is somebody has to die before they.
Yeah,
can actually find
I was
the
just gonna
treasure.
say I'm waiting for the finale where the whole entire cast just keels over with the curse of Oak
Right.
Island.
They've had a couple of people die since then.
The
That
camera
happened.
goes black. It's like Blair Witch.
Yeah.
It's over with. It's done.
Last episode live. Here's the gold. Here's the Ark of the Covenant. And up.
Oh,
Hello? Where'd it go?
Yeah.
that's it. The island sinks.
Yeah.
Never be found
And
again.
it just, yeah. Floats away into the ocean.
What about you, Pong? What games have you been playing, man? Any movies and TV shows for you?
Man, oh man, I'm back to grazing, although I'm getting real locked in now. So I was grazing for a while there, just kind of lead up at Homeworld 3. Just absolutely spectacular. 20 years in the making or so. It's crazy to see an old game that I briefly got to play on my buddy's PC back in the day when and just fell in love, and then never got to play because I didn't have a gaming PC. And for this one to come back, and me being the RTS lover, this sci-fi, it is just a spectacular game. They did such a awesome job. I'm loving the campaign so far. So I was rocking out on that last weekend. Got about 10, 12 hours into that. And then this week I refired up Starfield, of course, with the patch to check it out on the console. Because obviously I've got 400 hours roughly on Starfield, and over half my time, 60-70% is on the console. The rest is on the PC. So I had to go check out the console version. And again, hats off to Bethesda. I've been saying it every show. I would have loved to see one of these options, because options are great at launch. One of these options. However, that didn't happen, but the fact they gave us 3 options, I tried both. I didn't have any need to try the 40 mode. I tried the 60 and the 120 on the OLED with the VRR. Both have their great stuff to them. The 120, you do sacrifice a lot when it comes to graphically.
Get real fuzzy up in there.
He gets real fuzzy.
Yeah.
Like close up, it's not bad, but they get the distance on the planets. It's like, yeah, I can see what they had to do, but it feels immaculate, right? It is absolutely incredible. I bumped it down to 60 to try out the 60 mode, and everybody's been saying it. The 60 mode is probably the perfect balance. Like, it is really, really well done. The lighting, I think, and Mav and I talked about this, and Mav agreed. I think they did some work on the lighting as well. Some of the lighting just is peak, man. It just picks up. That's the thing about Starfield. it never got credit because everybody focused on the NPC faces and all the BS, right?
Oh,
that game is
huge,
beautiful. That game is gorgeous, man. That Creation Engine 2.0 is a huge upgrade from what they were working on before. And there are just some moments where that game is drop dead gorgeous. And now it even looks even better. So I was rocking that. And then really Megaton Musashi W Wired. I'll keep promoting this game. I think more people need to pick it up because there is a lot of anime and there's a lot of mecha fans out there who like JRPGs. And this one is not turn-based. If you like mecha, if you like anime and you've got a PC, Megaton Musashi Wired, W Wired is a great game. It's one of my favorite games so far that I've played this year, which is saying a lot because I've played a lot of freaking awesome games this year. But it really is just one of those games where 3 hours later, you're like, how did I get here? Like, why? I feel like I've been playing for an hour. It's by Level 5. Level 5 is well known in the JRPG community. They're an old school group of devs. They know exactly what they're doing. First time it's come to the West, and they're saying they're bringing all their games now everywhere, worldwide. They're one of the companies that have figured it out that we need to expand. Yeah, Level 5 said from here on out. So this was the first one. So they ported it to PC and released it to Steam. Go check it out. And then of course, the game that I've been waiting on for years. It's the one first party Sony title that I've had FOMO over for 3 years now, 4 years. I sold my PS4 early, getting ready for this gen, and Ghost of Tsushima came out during that time frame, and I never got to play it. And I'm a big lover of the Eastern culture, of samurais and all that kind of atmosphere, and I wanted to play this game so bad. Finally, it's here. The director's cut's now on PC. I had it pre-ordered, everything. I've been playing that nonstop since it dropped. And it is
the best way to play it, man. You waited all this time.
Yes.
You get the premium.
Yes,
PC
get the
Master Race
premium
version.
experience, right? But it is fantastic. It is unbelievably well done. Sucker Punch went out of their way, and Nixus. Got to say, Nixus is probably PlayStation's best acquisition ever. They are.
It's gonna be the one that probably makes them the most amount of money.
They are paying dividends over and over. This game is optimized very well. I have had zero issues so far, and it is just a beautiful game, and it is fun. And the combat, I'm not, again, I don't do Souls games. I don't like that type of combat. This does have parrying. This does have dodging. But this is like right in my wheelhouse. Like, I'm willing to learn this because it's forgiving.
I was going to say, I do feel like it's less Soulsy. Like, it's almost there, but not quite. It is definitely more forgiving.
Yeah, it's more forgiving. And the NPCs, the AI, they definitely telepath their moves with enough time for this old guy to handle it. So I'm having a great time learning all the different moves, weapon sets, all that kind of stuff. And so I'm loving it. I'm loving every minute. This was worth the wait, having a great time with it. And of course, next week, I got to introduce Hellblade 2 to the rotation. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So that's been my lineup of gaming. TV wise, I don't do TV and movies very often anymore. I guess the last one was I did binge the Fallout series a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. I did sit down. I had some time on a Sunday that I had some other stuff going on. So I binged it all the way through. And like I said, good show. I told Mav in the DMs right after I was watching it, and I was like, I don't get all the Universal love, but it's cool because it's great for Bethesda. Okay. Yeah, it's great for Bethesda. It's great for Fallout. I'm happy, but it was obviously good enough for me to binge it,
but not.
Yeah, no, I give it like a 7.5. Yeah, I give it like a 7.5. I had some issues with the writing. I had some issues with the character development and that kind of stuff. And I'm not even the Fallout like hardcore lore guy. Like that stuff doesn't bother. It was just some of it. I was like, really, people really like it this much? But again, I'm happy for Bethesda. I'm happy for myself because chances are they might be creating a Fallout studio just to work on Fallout, which means we get more Bethesda games, which for me, since they're my favorite dev, I'm all good with. So I'm happy for the success. But yeah, that's probably the last thing I actually really watched on TV or movie-wise. So was the Fallout show. So that's what I've been doing.
Not too bad. Let me get to this super chat from our guy here. Adidas20 with the $10 says, choo-choo, I'm here. Let's go on, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Adidas. Let's go.
Yeah. What about you, Dave? What have you been playing, man? Have you finally put down Pal World in Final Fantasy? Or are you still doing the Final Fantasy stuff?
I did some Final Fantasy a little bit, and then basically that was about it. We finally closed on a house, got that big check and deposit in the bank. That was weird.
Oof,
So
yeah, that's fun.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, with that much money,
But,
yeah.
it was kind of surprising. A little, I guess once it was signed, it was like it's done. So it's
Yeah,
just kind
like,
of it was
that's
kind of an emotional day a little bit, but
Yeah,
it is what it is.
100%.
But it's behind me now, and that's good. I don't know, I'm Mr. Debbie Downer. Let's talk about what you've been playing.
No, you're good, man. That's life, man. Congratulations on doing that too. That's cool.
Thanks.
For me, it's been Orcs Must Die. I'm kind of addicted to that game right now. I played Hellblade again because I really wanted it fresh in my mind. I wanted to see the differences, like how far Ninja Theory has really gone in leaps and bounds, and I think it's going to be very obvious in a couple of days exactly how far this team has gone. But man, for that game aged extremely well. Like it looks so good to this day. I think the combat is better than a lot of people give it credit for. I think it needs more variation in the combat, but I still think the combat's very solid in that. But the audio is just on a different level, and I am super excited to play Hellblade 2. But I started playing Have a Nice Death as well. Which I think is pretty cool, fun little indie. If you want to download something that's really small, it's only like 2 gigs, but it's a lot of fun, man. I'm really enjoying that. And of course, I got sucked in to Diablo. I was gonna try to avoid it, but I saw too many people playing it, and I was like, son of a bitch. And I got jealous, and I started playing another round of Diablo, playing my Necromancer. And it's as good as I remember it, man. It's so much fun. And leveling up is great now. Like now would be a good time if you haven't played Diablo in a while to get back into it, because leveling is so damn fast that if you wanted to use more than one character or something to kind of push through, now is the time to do it, because the leveling is extremely fast on that game right now.
That was something else I played last night too. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. See, there's just too many games, Mav. There's just so many games. Like I'm just grazing the shit out of so much stuff that I'm not finishing anything. Except for Hellblade. That's that one I made sure I finished that. But movie wise, I watched both of the Godzilla movies. Both were great. So I highly suggest watching those. But yeah, that's it for me, man. That's what I've been doing. Playing lots of games and watching a few movies, and that's about it.
Read that comment real quick.
Let's see. Flush Action saying, out hiking with the dog, so I'm on listen mode with the earbuds. Let's go, Flush. I love that. Thank you. Appreciate that, man.
Awesome. I do want to give a quick shout out to a new friend of mine from my new job at work, Ethan. He's actually now a new fan of the show, and he's a good guy, and he's a PC gamer, and he's got a PlayStation. I'm getting ready to get him a week or a month of Game Pass to try out to bring him over to the dark side.
Nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Just
wait till November. That way he can get Call of Duty.
Exactly.
That's right.
Oh, hey. Squad.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And Avowed.
Yeah.
And
everything that's coming out this year, pretty much.
A lot by November. Yeah. You're getting a lot by then.
Day one in Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
The whole slate.
It's like we've been told.
And
Not a
and-
quarter of the
times.
slate.
Not half a slate.
Not a half a slate. Not
Not
three-quarters of a slate.
three-fourths.
Not
Yeah.
95% of the slate. It's the whole slate.
It's like 100% actually means 100%. It's weird how they say
Yeah,
it,
it's
but
strange.
it took Wall Street Journal to tell you that, and everyone's like, "Oh, the whole
they're Wall
slate."
Street, so they understand math, right?
Yeah.
So it matters when they
Exactly.
say
Wall Street has never written a erroneous article before ever, so you
Yeah,
can trust that
yeah.
all the time.
Ever.
No.
And just one thing I do want to say and throw in there last little bit would be Starfield is not coming to PlayStation 5. There you go. Clip that, motherfucker. Sorry.
Not yet.
Don't clip that in case he's wrong.
No, clip it.
Dave might eat those words. Hopefully not. Oh man.
You might.
One day, who knows?
No. I'm not saying one coming to PlayStation 6. Oh, I'm sorry, Vaporware.
Oh,
Ooh.
PS6.
Shit.
Because the PlayStation Pro is going to be here at Christmas, right? I mean, we're all here about. Oh, we haven't announced it yet. It's
Not yet.
Not a thing yet. Oh.
Not yet.
Not yet. We got the business update coming. Don't worry.
We do,
Yeah.
and he's penny pinching. So
Dave
let's see
still
if he
thinks
wants to
that's
waste some more money.
vaporware too. He doesn't think the PlayStation 5 exists either.
Well-
He's standing on that island by himself though.
They
No,
realize
I'm
they
by
got to
myself.
have some games in order to put on a system.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
I mean, you
and
would
they're
think that
hoping
would be
for
the logical thing
Starfield,
to
but,
do.
you know,
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
Even
Oh,
their games
man.
as a service now got pushed too. So
Yeah, I see.
for a
I
whole
heard
year.
about that.
Somebody was
Yeah.
in our chat. Did you see this, Pong? It was either I remember if it was on PM and the PM or if it was on Xbox Ultimate, but somebody was acting like an insider in our chat, saying that there will be a PlayStation showcase later this month, and Concord will be shown, and it's going to push games as a service forward like things we've never seen before.
And then this news drops today that says the exact opposite. Wasn't the news today specifically mentioning Concord too? Wasn't that
Yes.
one of the titles? That
Yeah,
was
they
what-
said all
that
their
was pushed back?
games as a service were not up to par. So they're
Not up
pushing
to
to
par.
2025, 2026.
It was just so funny because like this
Even the
person
ones with
was
Jell-O
like
molds?
100% sure they've seen things embargo that we haven't seen yet. So
We
yeah,
see-
Isn't
They
that the
saw
game
that
with the Jello molds? Is that what they're talking about
Jiggly
too? That's not
Burger.
gonna be there. Jiggly Burger.
Jiggly Burger graphics. Yeah.
And we added the Sarabon emote, by the way. So
Nice.
there you go.
Nice. Love to
So we
see it,
needed
man.
to.
you should have taken the one from the
Yeah, the
Bluebird.
interview.
Yeah, with that face.
Of course.
You really going there?
Why did we have to do this? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Prior engagements. Prior promises. That's what that was.
Money,
Kurt.
man.
Yeah. Poor Sarah, man.
Yeah.
I kind of felt bad for her there, but hey, I mean, she doubled down. Let us know what was happening.
Why she
so-
gets paid the big bucks too.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
the thing, right?
I
Like,
sit there and
she's
be
the face
uncomfortable
now.
for as much as she's making. I'll tell you that much.
Agree, I agree with you.
I do
I'll take
have
all
some-
the hate on the internet for that paycheck all day long, baby.
I do have some
100%.
feedback for Microsoft and Xbox team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
go
you
for it.
not schedule the worst news you have of the year the day before
Yeah.
you are scheduled for an interview somewhere? Because it is like clockwork, man. Like every
Their
single
timing
time.
sucks.
Remember back there was like the Halo Infinite delay, then there was like the Phil Spencer interview, then there was the Redfall release, then there was the Phil Spencer scheduled interview, and then now here was the studio closures, and then here's the Sarah Bond interview. Right, like literally, like the days after these things happen is like clockwork, man. Those, I don't know. Maybe they should like, hey, let's do the interview, and then the day after that, let's announce the bad stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Their timing is
They got out in front of it, so
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, maybe it's a pull the Band-Aid off type situation, but it
Right.
does feel like I don't know. I have to agree with you, Mav. Like I don't think the timing is great. I would have spaced it one way or the other, like earlier or way after or something. I don't know.
Remember that's
Too
when we got
close.
like Angry Phil, and he was like, "I give up. I guess like, I don't know.
That's true.
I don't know what to tell you guys anymore. Like we just
Yep.
can't win the console war. Like so, what are we gonna do? You know? Like I mean, that was his attitude. Then here's Sarah Bond. This time she's like, why? Well, success is different to every studio. It's just like there's no answer that these people can have. In those
There was never
situations,
going to be a good
you know?
answer for that. That questioning, she was, no matter what came out of her mouth, she was screwed. Like,
Right.
because people were going to be pissed off about the whole Tango situation. Like, you could not. There's no way you could answer that correctly as a CEO, essentially. So
Yeah.
yeah. What are you trying to show? Slim Chickens.
good restaurant. What?
Slim Chickens.
even-
Is that a
I don't even
place?
know. I've never even heard of that.
No, you heard it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like plump chickens.
That's what it's called.
He likes his
really good food.
chicken's plump. Yeah.
It's a national chain.
Is it?
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I've never even
Chickens.
heard of it.
Yep. It's good stuff. There you go. New chicken place for you all to try. And hey, search you go. Gotta look it up. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Yep.
Chicken in a cup.
That was the beverage from there. So that's shakes, all kinds of stuff, man. Pretty good. The dessert comes in an actual mason jar. It's pretty crazy. It's good stuff though. All right, dude, let's get this party started. And welcome to the show, over 200 people.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys. I was gonna start with the Diablo stuff, but I think I'll kind of skip that. If you want to go to the second thing, Dave, that I sent you was the Toys for Bob thing. Because I want to get these guys quick impressions of what this means. It could mean absolutely fucking nothing, but I think it's fun. I think it's we got the speculation, guys. So let's speculate, shall we? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so shout out to Hazard Gaming. He's been killing it with the news lately, man. Toys for Bob's website has updated the site with a cryptic message, just showing this little guy right here. A lot of people are saying like this is just simply a logo. I just want to ask you guys, do you really think it's something like a Spyro game coming out? A lot of people are thinking it's a Crash Spyro crossover because of the colors of it. Or do you guys think maybe this is just simply a logo and we're getting our hopes up for not much? I'll go to you, Mav. What do you think this is about?
I think it's something. You know, I think it means something. I don't know what it means. I don't think it's just like the studio logo, you know, because this is kind of how studios tease things at times. They'll just do something cryptic like that. And I think it's a tease for something, not their logo. I think if it was just their logo, they would have just like updated their profile picture on Twitter or something like that. Or so they actually have it on the website as it's like all that's there. I think it means something. I don't know what that is from. It looks like it's straight out of Crash Bandicoot, you know, with the tiki thing or whatever.
Like
you
a
know?
Tiki type of guy. Yeah, it's like spot
so
on.
it could be that. The color thing is interesting. So it could be like maybe it's a crossover with their games. It could be like a kart racer, like with active.
I like that.
You know, I don't know, man. There could be a lot of different things, but I don't think it's just the studio logo.
Fair enough. I don't either. I'm not buying into this. I just feels like a weird thing that you would.
It would
put
be a
out
bad
there.
studio logo.
It would be a dumb PR move in my opinion if it was if it ends up just being the logo. Everyone's gonna be like, "Come on, Toys for Bob."
Well, it would be a bad logo because it doesn't say anything.
Well, that. I'd imagine if it was a logo, eventually it will say something. But that's a good point. Yeah, you would think it would.
There's a lot of comments in chat saying they think it's something to do with Crash.
Yeah, Crash is like what instantly came to my mind.
Crash definitely feels the most realistic thing.
What's up, guys?
Because it's too spot on for me. But Pong, let's get your 2 cents about this. Do you think we're all just being, Twitter fanboys here and being crazy?
No,
which is probably the case. Okay, good.
No, not at all. My first guess was a Crash Spyro crossover with the colors, with obviously the Tiki, which reminds me of Crash. So could it be a new studio logo? Sure. It could be that they're revealing here because it would make sense. Two of their biggest characters kind of combined together with the color and then the Tiki for Crash. But I think it's a crossover. I think it's going to be some kind of game that actually has both of them in it. Obviously, we did hear that they had done a contract with Microsoft, Xbox, to make a game. So if that's going to be the case, then why not have both? Why not have two of your biggest characters? A lot of people wanted Spyro to come back for a long time. We've obviously gotten Crash games recently. Again, me, at this point, do I care about either one of them that much? No, but I'm happy for all the fans, and I would love for them to do something cool like that because art style wise, they're kind of similar in a lot of ways, art style, and I think it would be a very cool mashup to have different levels, or maybe you could switch off, in the levels between the two to complete different sections or open up new areas or whatever the case may be with different abilities. There's a lot they could do there, so I'm just spitballing here, guys, but no, I definitely think that with the colors, with the Tiki, I think my first gut was that it's a crossover between the two, and I love to see what they do, man.
What if you can ride Spyro?
That would be cool as Crash, yeah,
right. And this would be
that,
like
actually.
Xbox's like Ratchet and Clank, where they kind of like team up, or is like combination kind of thing,
I like that. I don't know which one I like better though. You had a great. I really like when you say kart racer. I was like, yes, I've been waiting for something to be on Xbox that's a decent kart racer for a while, but I don't know, man. It definitely feels like Crash. Yeah, I mean, I'm just
like
glad
Panzer
they're partnering
Dragoon.
up.
What if it was like Panzer Dragoon?
That'd be cool.
And you're Crash and you ride Spyro and you're shooting things out of the sky. Like Matt said.
I'd be okay with that too.
That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah, love to see it. Dope. Let's go. I'm just happy it's going to be in Game Pass. So like I was sad to see like Toys for Bob go away, but not really. I'm happy they're still around and they survive. So, what Kid says, I want Xbox mascot Smash Brothers. Okay, that's people have been calling for that for a while. They certainly got enough properties and enough characters to do something like that. Yeah, I know they already have a kart racer game, but I'm talking we're talking something new. And obviously this isn't coming out anytime soon, I don't think. So this it could be a while before we see it anyways, but I think it's fun to speculate anyways. I say Crispy Bomb saying independent studio doing raunchy Conquer game wouldn't hurt the powers. Look at High on Life. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I that's a great point, Crispy. Actually, bringing back Conquer and doing something raunchy in that regard I'd be okay with it. High on Life was just stupid fun. Like I like that game. So yeah, I'm all about it. All right, well, we can move on from that. I just wanted to kind of go over that, see if you guys had any weird answers to what this could be, but I think we're kind of all on the same page here. But we'll move on to the next subject, and that's PlayStation replacing outgoing CEO Jim Ryan with two new bosses as co-CEOs, Herman Hulst and Hideaki Nishino. I probably
Hideaki Nishino.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just gonna make him say it.
Sony
Interactive Entertainment is replacing outgoing. Yeah, that's what I just read. So Hulst, previously co-founder and managing director at Horizon Zero Dawn Studio, Guerrilla Games, until he left to head up PlayStation Studios in November 2019. So I don't know. People. What do you guys think about this dual CEO thing? It sounds like they're going to be kind of splitting up some of the duties between these two guys. I don't know if it's that big of a deal. I don't even know if I care too much about this story. But we figured we bring it up and talk about it because shit's happening over there at PlayStation. I don't know if this is a sign of like something bad is happening or if it's a good idea that they're sharing these responsibilities. But Mav, what do you think about there being two CEOs? Do you think that's a good idea for Sony to do, or maybe they just need the help?
I think it means that Jim screwed up stuff so bad that they're afraid to put one single person in charge anymore. So Hiroki Totoki said we're bad at business, like he's already said, and they're past things. So he's like, let's micromanage this thing, right? And he's putting Herman Hulst in charge of the studio group, which he's probably pretty much already doing that.
All he did
to begin with. And then Hideaki Nishino is in charge of like the third-party partnerships and all that kind of stuff. So, and both of them, I think, got their work cut out for them because right now, as far as the pipeline for first-party content, it's the weakest we've ever known about in PlayStation's history, probably. We have a few live service games that are announced. We have Wolverine is announced for 2026. And besides that, there's really not a lot to be excited about going forward. They did just have the success with Helldivers 2, learning that putting your games on PC is an important thing. So it's going to be interesting seeing how they handle that. But then also you look at Hideaki Nishino and the work that it's cut out for him. You know, they've lost a lot of exclusivity from third party in just this last couple of years. Atlas games are all going to Xbox now. Square Enix games are all starting to go to multi-platform. You know, a lot of these things that kind of made PlayStation special before and things they relied on, especially for the exclusive pipeline that they had with third-party content, which was pretty much half of the exclusives they've had this generation. It seems like that's taken a step back too. So both guys got their work cut out for them to kind of right the ship of where Jim left them. Overall, I think they're going to be okay though, and they're going to get things on track. I think at some point they will end up having some kind of show where they reveal more things that we don't know about for the pipeline of first party. I don't know when that's going to be, and I don't know when the games are going to come out though. Like it's really concerning about all the cancellations of all those live service games, all the wasted time, all the wasted development resources, and all that kind of stuff. leaving them in this position where they're at right now, wasting time on the PSVR and investing into all of that. They've had a lot of like wasted resources over the last several years. And remember we talked about it when Jim left. Like I was saying it, he left it because there's a shitstorm ahead. He saw the writing on the wall.
Get the fuck out of there.
All this is going down. He's like, bye. And then you had Connie Booth leave, and you had that whole situation. You had more trouble at Bungie and all that kind of stuff going on. And now we're left here kind of scratching our heads, wondering what's going to happen. Hiroki Totoki went and looked at all the studios, and he said, we suck at money and we suck at business. So let's get this fixed. And here's the direction that he came up with. So we'll see how it does. But I think ultimately the bigger message is that Sony money men, Sony, like Pong made this point, and I'll let him get to that as well, that the Sony Corpo, right, is now fully got their magnifying glasses on and really making sure that everything is handled properly going forward, so they don't waste all these resources and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I think, man, with the whole gas game thing, like 50% of their gas games just completely gone, and the other 50% getting pushed back. Like you just said, Mav, like that's a lot of resources. That feels like that's a lot of eggs they put in that one basket that is not working out right now. And I hate to say it, but it feels like it's like, we always hear like the doom and gloom about Xbox. If this were happening on Xbox, everyone would be saying this fucker's shutting down, bro. Like this is not.
No, instead it's Game Pass is going to cause Microsoft to shut down. Is what the Xbox is what everybody's saying. Stupid stuff. But really the biggest problem I've had with the industry and what's caused a lot of these layoffs, and you even saw with Square's earnings report, is just the wasted resources on chasing these things behind the scenes and trying to do all these test projects to try and get some monetization model out for some kind of game that it's created by focus groups instead of creatives, and they keep experimenting with all this stuff and cancellations all over the place. And it's like, if you would have had these talented devs and everything just making some damn games, right, then who knows what could have ended up happening. And Sony's made the same mistake that Square did, as we saw there. And you see what happens, right? Like there's fallout from that kind of stuff. So we'll see what they do going forward. But yeah, stop wasting money on dumb projects that you cancel like 2 years into development. It's just a big problem out there.
Yeah, absolutely. See it through. Pong, what about you, man? What's your take on this dual CEO thing? And do you think it's indicative like of a problem for Sony, or do you think this is probably the way to go, like Matt was saying, because there's so much to do that two guys had to do the job of one?
Well, I'll start with the two guys, right? It makes sense because they both have their strengths, right? And obviously Herman is, people don't understand, he's had a meteoric rise within PlayStation. Okay, this guy, I called him politely in the DMs a cockroach. He survives, right? Mav called him a chameleon or a lizard who just kind of morphs into whoever he needs to be, whoever's in charge. But this dude, he's obviously been on the gaming side. He started with Guerrilla Games and then just shot up through the ranks and became Jim's right-hand man and now takes over. But basically he's doing the same. He's got a new position. He's got a new title, right? He's got a bigger check. He's got a new title, but he's just basically doing what he's been doing underneath Jim, because obviously Jim wasn't the game dude, right? So in a lot of ways, Jim was the business, the money guy, right? And he knew the hardware side. He knew all of that stuff, right? And he obviously did know gaming. Like, don't get me wrong. Again, the dude, took him to #1 in Europe and basically crushed out the competition. And still to this day, they, that's why they are that popular over in that part of the world. So, but it was already kind of a dual thing. So Herman's just kind of taking his normal spot. And then Hideaki's been there for quite a while. And he has more of the side with the hardware and all that kind of, so it just makes sense to split the position into two. But really, I've always had this theory. This is just my personal theory ever since kind of watching Sony and how they used to be run, and then kind of the transition when Jim took over. I really feel like that Sony Corp had the utmost faith in Jim and gave him pretty much free reign.
Yeah.
And Jim what he wound up doing, I think, is, and it was only short tenure. So again, he did this very quickly.
Was it 4 years, right?
4
Total?
years, basically. But
Yeah,
I think what
that's
he
quick.
did is he said, oh, you're going to give me free reign? Cool. I'm going to do my thing. And I think that he really cut off Sony Corp from what was happening at PlayStation. And he was really making big decisions with minimal feedback to Sony Corp about what was going on. And so I think when stuff started going sideways, obviously a lot of it just industry related, right? But obviously they found themselves in a position looking to the future, not in a good spot. If you were because again, they realized early on, Jim was the one saying it, that, you know, the console market just isn't enough. And so Sony Corp started going, what's going on over there, Jim? And Jim probably didn't give him a whole lot of answers, right? And said, we got it, right? And I think that Sony Corp, being more of the traditional corp, right? Especially with the East, they are a more traditional corp, probably felt shut out and probably felt like, oh, maybe we should not have given this guy this much free reign. And I think that, you know, the PSVR 2 not doing well, that was a huge chunk of R&D.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah, right. Obviously. And granted, that did start prior to
niche.
Jim putting his
Yeah.
spot, but obviously Jim,
Very
you know,
true.
again, they're going to lay the blame on Jim in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
He's the head. I mean, that you take the credit and you also take the blame. Like, that's who you are.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure Sony Corp laid the blame at him for some of that stuff. And I think ultimately now, when they made the decision to replace Jim, and I think that they kindly asked him to step aside, right? They said you can be fired, or, you know, you can go ahead and retire and walk away with the accolades. And I think obviously he took the smart move. I think Sony Corp at that point, when the minute they put Hiroki in as interim, right? I said, listen, this is Sony Corp stepping in and going, okay, what is happening at one of our biggest pillars, a company, you know, a piece of our company that is so important to us? Our stocks are declining. What is happening inside PlayStation right now? And they had Hiroki do a 6-month tour. And that's like Mav said, he came out and said, hey, you know, went to all these studios and loved the creativity. You know, guys are great. You guys don't know shit about business.
Why is everybody
Your
playing
books suck.
Foosball?
Right, your books suck, okay? Your numbers suck. We are overspending on everything. We are burning through cash at these studios, and we need to rein this in. So the interesting part about the two-headed monster is that two-headed monster now is leashed, and it's leashed to none other than Hiroki Totoki, the CFO of Sony Corp. Okay, so they might be the two making some of the decisions within PlayStation, but everything is now running through Sony Corp. Every decision is running through Sony Corp, and that is Hiroki Totoki, right? And that's why they said that they will both be reporting to Hiroki directly. You know, Mav and I called it. They've got, you know, PlayStation's now got their own Triple H over there, obviously, with these 3 H's now in charge. And it's going to be I think we haven't seen all of Hiroki's maneuvering yet. He trimmed a little bit. We saw that they did have some layoffs and that kind of stuff. And they've canceled some games, right? And now we've heard that they've pushed the games as a service even further out, 2025, 2026. I don't think he's done yet restructuring. I want to see how this all happens. They got a lot to announce. They have to get a roadmap out for their fan base yet. They still have to, you know, officially announce the PlayStation 5 Pro if they're going forward with that. They have a lot. And that, I think the business update that we're going to get this next week here for an hour and a half probably will give us even bigger insight into what Hiroki is thinking about doing with PlayStation at this point. But that's what this is. This is Sony Corp retaking back control of PlayStation, not feeling left on the sidelines, just watching what's going on. They want direct input at this point about how PlayStation is going to move forward. And they've got a money guy. And I know a lot of community for some reason hates when we talk about this. Yes, of course, this is all business. It's all money, right?
It's all business.
But there is a difference when money guys step in and start taking control and making major decisions of an entertainment company, because they think even less about us gamers. They think even less about games themselves. They don't care about our fun. I've said this forever. Again, yes, ultimately, these are all big, giant businesses with money men. Phil is even a money guy at some level. He understands business. But the facts are, when the guy like Hiroki Totoki, the CFO of Sony Corp, steps in, it's a little different. Okay. Yeah. It's just a little different when he starts pulling back on those leashes and going, yeah, Herman, come here. Come here, Herman. Herman, you get a little too far out there, buddy. Come on back. Come on back. What are you doing?
Let's
right?
rein you in, buddy.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be the fascinating part about this, is watching how it's actually a three-headed monster works together, and what decisions Hiroki ultimately makes to slim and trim down PlayStation. Does that mean VR2 is the Vita? I said it 2 years ago. I thought VR2 could be the next Vita, where they just kind of disappears into the wind.
PSTV. What was that? PS View? Was it PS View?
View.
Yeah.
I had it. You know what? The funny thing too, Mav, is it was one of the best options out there at the time. Yeah. For money wise and stuff, and I was like, of course it would get canceled.
Yeah, I got PSTV too. I still got my PSTV. The PSTV was something they should, again, it was one of those things that they just dipped their toes. If they would have supported that, they would have been huge.
Google. Like, Sony reminds me a lot of Google. Like, if it doesn't work instantly, they're like, we're out.
A lot of companies are like that. Let's be real. But yes, they are. That's true. But they've done this many times. But PSTV, being able to play your PS Vita games on the big screen was amazing, bro. It was awesome. It had so much potential. Anyways, off sidetrack there. But I think that's ultimately why this is a three-headed monster now, is because Jim just had too much control, and I think that Sony Corp ultimately didn't like it. And these two guys, again, they obviously are good at what they do. They've been around for a while now. Herman's been there much shorter time than, but I think that they definitely have their strengths, and they are both over, PlayStation's portions that are directly involved with those strengths. But Hiroki is the ultimate decision maker here, and I think we're going to see that more and more as we go forward here.
The other interesting thing, real quick, is that they have this thing in a few days, right? Yeah, to announce their future vision
to spill their guts, essentially,
for SIE. Yeah, and it's not like a interesting game show. It's
everything.
Yeah,
it's all of Sony. Yeah, so I don't know. They must be hurting a lot of different sectors. I think everybody's hurting, but I think to Pong's point, I do agree with him saying Hiroki Totoki. I don't think he's done. I think there's going to be more layoffs coming this year for Sony as well. I just think it's a sign of the times right now. That's a lot of restructuring going on. The money guy is in charge, and I think Sony is in a little, SIE is a little bit of trouble right now. Worst margins in a decade. Worst margins in a decade. You might be making money, but you always got to make more money. That's the thing when you have shareholders, right? Yeah. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to be in the worst case scenario you have been in a decade, even if you're making a ton of money, right? Just like Xbox being in third place, the business is still alive and well. If you're still making that much money, you're still a great business, even if you're in third place. It doesn't matter. But margins matter, man. Margins definitely matter to Hiroki, and he said it himself. He let everybody know this shit won't stand. So,
and like Abdel said too, I know Special Nick and other people have commented on this too, and it makes sense as a CFO, as a guy who is definitely about the bottom line and the numbers game. He, people have been speculating that he will be more open to putting certain games elsewhere as well, that he will be more open to day and day. He'll be, and Abdel's point was, Special Nick said specifically, that's hence why there's been conversations potentially about Helldivers 2. Yeah, of course. Yeah. A dude like that is not, again, he doesn't care. He wants those bottom numbers to be pretty. He wants the stock prices going up. He wants his bosses at Sony Corp going, well done, Hiroki. Well done. Yep, our shareholders are all happy now. We can go invest in more electric cars and whatever the hell else we want to do, thanks to you. So that's what he's going to be looking for. He doesn't care about the PlayStation fans going, no, you can't do that.
I don't give a shit.
That's what how quick we see these moves. Right. That's what I'm curious about. That's why I want to watch this business update this week. I really do. I think it could give us insight into his mind a little bit more. So we'll see.
I'll tell you one thing I want to throw in there is 1000% to Pong's point. Since he is basically the purse strings. He is the focus on making sure they make money, and that is why, for me, puts into doubt the PlayStation Pro. I just think that it's just.
I mean, I don't think it makes sense, Dave, but. I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me either, but I don't know. There's a lot of smoke there, but I get what you're saying. And maybe they 180'd it, but you got to remember though, if it was already happening this year, it's way too hundreds of millions in R&D, all that you would just be burning that money. But I mean, they're kind of doing that with the gas games a little bit too, right? Because they're not going to get any revenue back for the gas games that they push back. So who knows? Like,
well, they burn money willingly on PSVR 2. Like, no money guy would have said that's a great investment.
That's the one, Mav, that drives me nuts. It makes no fucking sense to me.
Right.
How I think it's dead. I agree with Pong. Like, I think PSVR is completely dead. If I were any dev, I would not be in the VR space. I'd be scared shitless. You think all the other devs are scared of their jobs? I'd be scared as hell if I was in the VR space right now.
I think
because
VR was their
it's too small.
Yeah. VR was their they were thinking the whole metaverse thing was like a thing.
Was going to take off. Yeah.
So they're like, we need to be first into this. But I appreciate, like we talked about this numerous times. I appreciate them trying to advance VR technology and stuff like that.
I love tech, man. So
for the position that they were in and like all these other things that they were doing, it just never made any damn sense from like their business perspective, and which is what we talked about numerous times there before, right? It's not even really consumer friendly or focused either, so you can't make an argument there, and because it's for a very niche audience, right? How many people are willing to spend $500 on a box and then buy an accessory that's only usable on that box for $550? And then there's only very few games that they're able to invest in making for that product in the first place. And you're only going to have like max a couple million people that are ever going to be able to invest in this. Yet the resources that you're putting in as a company is vast, because you have to make hardware. You have to have these studios that are having to spend years in making these games that hardly anybody is ever going to be able to buy. And at that point, it's like, we were going into this hoping the miracle would happen. All of a sudden, VR would become the main way people access their content. And for anybody thinking that was going to be the reality anytime soon, it was
takes
dumb,
so much
dumb
longer
business
for
move.
those things.
And they could have been making more fucking games instead, right? And here we have the games of service wasted resources, all that dumb shit that they were doing, and then you have this as well. Now it's just a bunch of wasted time and effort and no fruits to the labor. Instead, it just caused more issues at Sony, and now we're left with Jim Ryan leaving and then them not trusting the business enough to hand over to one person anymore. The money guy says, we got Herman and we got Hideaki. Are they going to get promotions? Not really. They're going to do the exact same damn thing they were doing before, but we're going to say they're in charge. That's where the position is now.
Apparently, you guys are twins. I didn't realize that. Thanks, Maxi, for that comment.
Yeah, well, Mav is a very handsome gentleman. I know.
Yeah, he's like, I'll take it. Yeah. Now, good points, gentlemen. I don't know, Dave. Do you have anything you want to add on this whole PlayStation dual CEO thing before we move on to the other stuff?
Yeah, I think they did the right thing by putting two different people in place, so that we have maybe checks and balances a little bit, or at least if it's hopefully got to go through a filter before it spills out into the airways and just destroys everything they've created from the ground up. But we'll just have to.
You're not toxic at all, Dave.
No. But I do have something, and of course, we got to go to our buddy Pong on this one. We got a couple of these now.
Oh yeah, let me get the first one, actually, the names of at least the people that went out to. Thank you, Silent Cypher, appreciate you, brother. He gifted a bunch of memberships here. Got R.L. Stein got one, Jonas the Dad got one, Crispy Bomb got one, Jesse P did, and Lore Master Jasper. And was there
Jasper from the future?
Jasper got one from 3-Bit the other night on ours. It was hilarious.
Did he really?
Yeah, it was hilarious.
By the way, do not play that guy in Halo. He will make you feel like shit. He is so good. Jesus.
He's going to be rusty, though. He's not going to be able to play games too much right now.
So shout out to
Oh, really?
Silent Cypher for
Yeah,
those
so-
5 gifted memberships. Thank you, sir.
If you
Appreciate
are
that.
gonna play Jasper in video games, like when he comes back and you see him online for the first time and forever, that's the time.
That's the time.
Yeah.
So
It's your one
strike,
chance.
strike early. It's your one shot. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Man,
And also shout
made
out
me look
to
so bad.
Jonas the Dad as well. And then we got 2 more chats, 1 super chat and then
nice.
1 member
All right.
chat.
All right, Silent with the $2 says hashtag 2 guys 1 roll, hashtag sorry not sorry, hashtag you're welcome. Thank you, Silent. Always good for the comedy here. Magnum just became a member for 2 months. Stop saying money, man. It's 2024. It's money person.
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. Yeah, be PC, guys. Be politically correct. It's money person. There
My
you go.
bad.
Show's
Yeah.
over.
How
No,
dare
I'm
you?
just kidding.
Yeah, we're canceled.
And I can't tell you how many memberships or how many chats and stuff people are saying, they're ready for the Mav rant. I'm just saying. So reputation precedes you, Mav. I love it.
There you go.
It's awesome.
Oh man. Let's move on to some happy good news, or at least what I think is happy good news. Microsoft's Activision team is opening a new game studio in Poland called Elsewhere Entertainment to build a new AAA IP. I love that. I'm starting to come around. Yesterday I was like, I don't know if I like the name, but now I'm thinking Elsewhere Entertainment's great because if you want to play this game, you're gonna have to go elsewhere. Sorry, PlayStation guys. The studio boasts people from The Last of Us. This is a really like AAA. This is like a really good stout of talent here. People from The Last of Us, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, and Uncharted developers on the team. The Microsoft subsidiary Activision revealed a new studio the other day, dubbed Elsewhere Entertainment. The firm is comprised of industry vets, posting credits in games like I just said, The Last of Us and Witcher 3. Activision also revealed new vacancies website for Elsewhere for the studio, which will host career options in the coming days. The studio is working on a narrative-based game in a totally new AAA franchise. So there's a lot of speculation out there for people that were saying like, oh, maybe they're reviving an old IP. It's a new AAA. So whatever that narrative game could be, I have no clue. But
read that comment real quick, and then another membership thing I want you to read and look at the picture.
sure. Treybone says Game Pass Daily. Haruki Totoki comes out on stage at the Xbox Showcase and says, "This is how you share games." Holy shit! Yes, dude.
That would be
Good.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
proceeds to hand Phil and Sarah some PlayStation games. The pony would lose their shit. Oh my god, Treybone, that is the best. That is the best answer I've ever seen.
That is
Fart
so
Q,
good.
always stealing my pictures. Appreciate my London bald brother. Thank you for being a member for 6 months. My guy. Let's go.
Oh, goodness. All
That's
right.
too
I'm
funny,
sorry.
man.
Back on track.
Yeah, so I'll go to you, Mav. What do you think about this new AAA studio on the heels of them getting rid of my Tango GameWorks? How dare those motherfuckers do that shit? It's almost like those two things might not be completely related, and that's how business works.
Yeah.
But that's just my 2 cents. But
Be
go ahead,
careful.
Mav.
We're not
What do you
allowed to
think?
talk about Tango. The 2-hour timeline of us
we
allowed to
can't
talk
do Tango?
about that had cut
Are you
off
on a
that
clock?
day. Yeah. We were allowed to make one tweet and only discuss it
And
for
then
about
shut
2 hours.
the hell up.
And
Yeah,
then it was
I don't-
whining after that point. So
Yes.
no more. We can't. Be careful.
You could do that here because I don't give a fuck. So you speak
Alright.
your piece on it.
Dumbass dude. It was stupid. How could they do that? Anyway. All right. So we're down 4. We're up 1. Right. So we got Elsewhere. We got Elsewhere
Yeah.
Studios. We did lose some studios. Now it turns out that this studio has already existed for a couple years. Right.
Yes,
so
that was
there a lot
interesting to find out.
There
Yeah.
was a lot of spinning, like, oh, this is a bad look. They open a new studio right when they close these other ones. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Right, but it turns out this already existed, and it's actually, I think, more of a positive sign if you really look at it, because they see something in the project that they're working on, right? To not
Right.
have already moved on from them, because if they were
That's
to
a
have
great
moved on
point,
from
Mav.
them, it would have been super easy to, because nobody
'Cause
knew
no
they
one knew they
fucking existed, right? So if you were to
Exactly,
make some
Mav.
cuts, it's like, hey, I'm going to close down a studio. That's the easier one to do. And they didn't do it. So
Yes.
that means that they have something that they feel like they believe in. They got their Polish studio finally, right? And that's something that they're cultivating. They have a lot of talent. I think more came out. I don't know how legitimate it is, but like I think like 75% of the staff or something is supposed to be from CD Projekt Red. There was also something about potential like car combat and something like that as well. I saw this stuff floating around.
I did hear
Twitter.
that rumor, but I didn't know how to, I didn't know if I wanted to.
I don't know. Like, it's just a random person said some random thing on Twitter that I saw. That's where that came from. But if it's true, that's really damn cool, man. Like, because you have talent from The Witcher, from CD Projekt Red, right? From Cyberpunk, that is really strong at making Western RPGs, right? And then you have a studio that Xbox has, and we know Xbox loves making RPGs as well, right? Turns out that Activision had already started this process of trying to cultivate other kinds of games besides just Call of Duty as well. So this is a positive sign for maybe there's other things going on behind the scenes, because there was the Infinity Ward spinoff that's also, I believe, in Poland, and then there's this team as well. So who knows what else is going on behind the scenes with other potential games that we, or other studios that we have no idea about. And I think it leads to that thought that they are still in that mindset of cultivating these different kinds of projects and are willing to do all this kind of stuff. And ABK is bigger than we thought, even in the amount of studios that we're counting now, right? So all of these things, I think, ultimately are going to lead to something potentially awesome, but they still got to put their game out. They still got to make a great game to really have the same kind of credibility that even somebody like a Tango Gameworks had before, right? Or something like that. So we'll see what they're capable of. But I think under Activision, under Microsoft, I think the resources are going to be there to have them be able to live up to that potential. So, I can't wait. The question I have is more so like, when are we going to see what it is? Because is the reasoning that we're starting to hear about this studio is because they're more on the recruiting phase now. And sometimes when you get into that phase, you start to show your stuff a little bit, maybe even a tease, a game reveal or something like that. And then you have all of a sudden, hiring for creative directors or producers or whatever, artists and engineers and all those kind of things start to get put out. So we'll see what happens with Elsewhere Studio. I think it's a cool name. I don't know what the kind of the vision is for like the studio, what they're saying about themselves and stuff. But ultimately, I think maybe in a few years we'll finally see. Maybe their game will be one of those 2026 next gen Xbox launch lineup games. Could be.
Yeah, that's a great point, Mav. The timing seems about right. So
yeah, it does.
Yeah, why not? I do love that you brought up the fact that they could have easily they could have killed this thing before anyone even knew it existed. It's actually amazing that data miners didn't find this out, because usually data miner guys, I'm shocked that this is several years old or in the making and nobody found it.
This must have been the redacted shit, some of the redacted shit in the ABK case, right? Because we'd never heard about this studio, We know about the Infinity Ward one from past rumors and leaks, and then also because of stuff that had come out with the trial. But this one just kind of slid under the radar. But it turns out they've been cooking up something for a couple of years. So I think it's awesome that they still exist. I think it's a good sign.
Yeah, I think because there was a lot of people talking out there saying, well, Tango and all these studios that just closed would have you're not going to see a return on profit for X amount of years. So to double down on what you said is they must believe in what this studio is doing, because this would have been an easy shutdown
and they're
on Xbox's side.
Further along than Tango would have been or Arcane Austin would have been, because they were in the still pitching phases. So whatever this is, they have a solid idea of what they're making right now, and I think they're cooking something, and it may be years before we see what it is, but it's enough that Xbox said that they're going to stick with it, right? So that's good. That's good enough for me right now.
Yeah, and there's no such thing as too many AAA RPGs. I'll take them all day long.
Yes, sir. Especially from a team from that kind of talent,
especially from that caliber.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man,
absolutely.
Poland's got some amazing studios, dude.
Poland really does. Poland's kind of coming out of the woodwork here as like one of those countries to go to. I don't know what's going on.
Is
over
everybody
there.
in Poland a game developer?
I know.
No, it's because they're it's because the government invests
Subsidies?
in the studios. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Feeds money into the devs to become a dev.
Yes.
studio.
Yeah.
So yes.
Seems
cool.
like a great
Do
environment.
you remember
to work
when
in.
Rhode Island did that? And
Yes!
then Kurt Schilling did Kingdoms of Amalur, and then like
and
then
it
it like it tanked, and then he ended up owing Rhode Island all this money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I still think he might. I don't know. That's it's funny you mentioned that, Mav. I was so excited about that because I was living in New England at the time, and I was like, I'm gonna go get a job in Rhode Island. Yeah. The game's not even bad. So it's just one of those things that just didn't work out. Shout out to Kurt Schilling. I can't believe you remembered that. I love that. Mav, what's your whole take on this on the Elsewhere Entertainment and this new AAA studio from Activision?
We already
Pong?
talked to Mav.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
People get
I meant Pong.
confused sometimes because of my intelligent takes.
Yeah. Did I say Mav? Did I
You
say
did,
Mav?
but-
Yeah.
Pong,
Okay,
you
my
meant
bad. I meant
Pong.
Pong. I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
I was
No,
reading
that's
something
fine.
and thinking another.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I don't have much to add to Mav here. Again, it's funny. We've done this for 4 days now, so we've had this conversation multiple
sorry
times.
if you have to rinse and repeat.
No.
Everything I said, I stole from Pong the last two shows.
Thanks for the content.
It is exciting. It is exciting, but this does fall in line again during acquisition season before the ABK deal. There was word that Phil wanted a studio in Poland, and in fact, CDPR was supposedly on the table. So was People Can Fly was on the table as well. They were looking for that specific spot. And so obviously when the ABK acquisition started, obviously they would have walked in, they got the books opened up, they would have seen the roadmaps, they would have seen, I can just imagine Phil going, hey, what's this? What's this little studio you guys got over in Warsaw? What's going on here? Hey, we've been looking for a studio over there. Look at that. Look at that. Another piece just fits right in. Let's go. I think this really does lend itself to that scenario, and the fact that they kept it open, like Mav said, was huge. I mean, again, after just the closures, again, you got to remember that Bethesda's a subsidiary, and of course so is Activision. So they do run themselves in some ways, right? So just because this happened over here doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what's going on over here. But they did shut down Blizzard's team that was working on that survival game. They canceled their survival game too, right?
That one hurt. I'm not gonna lie. Jez was talking about that forever and had me really hyped about it. So,
exactly. Yeah, and Star Traffic. Yeah, that we had that deal signed with People Can Fly. There is so much talent over in Poland, but no. So this was super exciting, coming off the heels of Tango and of Arcane Austin, and I thought this was awesome to hear that they did keep this one open. It got even better when I found out that it had been open already for almost 3 years now. Yeah. And Mav, for your stats on where you saw the 75%, that was actually from Hazador. Shout out to Haz. Okay. And he pulled it from LinkedIn. So it's pretty good information.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm not just spewing BS.
You're not full of shit. Yeah.
No, you're not. And he also pulled some notes from there that they are seeking innovation in the RPG genre that redefines the genre itself with armed combat and vehicles. So hey, you're speaking my language. You pulled people from CDPR, awesome. And I gotta imagine that a lot of this was in the concept phase, right? When they were pulling people, which means you probably pulled a lot of narrative people. That's my guess, is you pulled a lot of narrative people. You're pulling narrative people from CDPR. You got my attention fully. Okay. This is good stuff right here, folks. So I love the name Elsewhere Entertainment. But I do think too, like to Matt's point, we were kind of speculating about this too this week. Now that they made the official announcement, it came out with the name, they named it. That's part of the process of recruitment. But we also now know in gaming that teasing your game at a showcase or somewhere is also a part of recruitment. So if they've moved into the next phase of development here, and they are looking to hire a bunch of people, I think we could get the tease sooner than later. I think we could get a splash screen with a title. I think there could be something to that. I'm just glad they didn't come out and proclaim themselves a quadruple A studio or something crazy like
yeah, don't set the bar that high.
Yeah, we don't need another initiative situation here, folks.
Yeah.
So again, it's just cool that they've been doing this quietly, working quietly under the radar. Nobody knew about them. And this goes back to the bigger conversations that we all had during acquisition season 2 as well. And this is the part that always gets me excited. You can go back and watch all our shows when we talked about this stuff. I love the unknown, right? Because all these acquisitions come with unknowns. Sure, some of them are going to be canceled. We never hear about them. We never even knew they existed, right? But the fact is that the unknown brings so much potential because we know all the crazy big stuff that Activision, Blizzard, and King have going on. We obviously know Call of Duty. We know all that stuff. We know World of Warcraft. We know all that stuff. But it's all these projects, right, that we're cooking, that nobody knew about. And it's all this growth within these studios where all of a sudden a studio that only worked on one game previously now works on 2 games, right? That we don't know about yet. And that's what I always get pumped for. And how many projects have been sitting around on the desks, right? Or in somebody's drawer or in somebody's hard drive, I should say nowadays, that never got greenlit under former management. But now you got Xbox involved. And now they're looking for new projects. They're looking for new IP, right? How many are going to be greenlit? So I think that this is a perfect example of that. This obviously started prior to the acquisition, but the fact is now Xbox is obviously all on board with it. They're announcing the name. In a great location, lots of talent already flooding into that. I'm pumped, man, and I hope, I'm crossing my fingers, maybe add this to the showcase speculation. We get a splash screen from Elsewhere Entertainment just showing a title or a working title or something, just to get even more people excited, and then obviously start that recruitment process that they're doing right now and get some more people on board. But yeah, big day. Love to hear it. Love when new studios pop up. I want more games, man. I want more games. I as a gamer, that's what I care about. So this is good.
Y'all want some completely ridiculous, unfounded speculation about this game?
He's like, now that I was proved right for everything, I'm gonna keep going. Let's go.
Well, let's just think about. I want to put some things together about. Okay, why would Activision feel the need to go form an entirely new studio, right? When they have so much talent here. For me, if they have something that they felt would be worth doing so, right? Okay, so add that,
like something missing from the equation of gaming now.
They feel like, all right, we have this opportunity that we don't want to pass up on, so let's form a studio to be able to make this project. Okay, hear me out. They needed a Western RPG team, so they recruit there. What kind of IPs out there were getting kicked around about 3 years ago, and deals were being done left and right all over the place for all these different publishers? Star Wars, Marvel, Disney was going out to every publisher making deals, right? So just some over-the-top speculation. What if Activision kind of went back to their roots and be like, okay, we're not doing too many other different projects. We only want to deal in things that we can really count on, right? Because that's just kind of their MO, especially on the Activision side. Well, Star Wars and Marvel, they keep calling us, because they did deals with Ubisoft. They did deals with 2K. They did deals with EA. They're doing deals with every big publisher under the sun. The one that we haven't heard about that's in that big publisher group so far would be Activision, right? So what if they got an opportunity to do a licensed game for a Star Wars or some Marvel IP, and they needed to make the studio to create it because they couldn't afford to pull people off of their other projects?
That's a good point. I mean, it could be. I mean, it could definitely be a Disney licensing thing.
This is a major reach, right?
Yeah,
but it makes sense in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against. I think Outlaws is going to give me my Star Wars because I just think it looks fantastic.
It looks massive.
But there's so many properties under Disney that on the Marvel side is just like infinite.
Bethesda,
right?
add that to the mix. They were doing deals with Bethesda, right? 2 deals. They did Blade. They did, and they did the Indiana Jones, right? Ubisoft. They did Star Wars Outlaws. 2K, they did Midnight Suns, right? There's so many. They did Skydance Media, Amy Hennig. They did two things: Star Wars and Marvel as well with the Warner Studio. It's like every publisher out there is making these games, or has been. So, what about Activision Blizzard, which they have a history and a relationship in the past of doing games with them before? So I don't know. It makes sense to me.
Or what if, Mav, right? Speculation Town, right? Obviously, they looked at the landscape. Activision was looking at the landscape of gaming, right?
Yeah.
And they were looking at all the things that they cover, with obviously Blizzard included, right? And one of the things they didn't have necessarily, I mean, again, World of Warcraft is what it is, right? That kind of stuff is a Western RPG, right? And they started looking at the popularity of what RPGs are doing right now. And they started looking at, what are we good at? We're good at shooters, right? All right, Infinity Ward, go start a new studio. Why don't you pull some of those ex-Mass Effect devs over? Why don't we do a sci-fi Western RPG, right? That's the rumor, right? First person Western rumor. All right, what else we got going on? Well, shoot, we've already got presence over that in that direction in Poland, right? We've already got it. We know there's a bunch of CDPR devs looking for work. There's a bunch of great people who worked on some massive RPGs over there. What if we just opened another studio under Activision and we started another RPG over there, right? Let's go see if we can form this. Because I think, obviously, if they were thinking long before the acquisition, or they were just looking at it, expanding out again, right? Not being so one-dimensional underneath Activision, right? With Call of Duty, that what would be a natural spot to go to that could also be a big thing? Well, that's RPGs. That's Western RPGs. They're huge, right? So yeah, even if it's not licensed, I think they could have just been looking at that genre in general and opened a couple studios potentially to start in that direction and see what they could do, right?
Well, that's a lot more realistic, Pong, than mine.
Well, I know it is. But it's still speculation.
Way to bring us back down, Pong.
No.
But I'll add to it.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
I think if they're okay, so it would. Something that they've been a little reluctant to, and taking bets on these big publishers, is new IP, right?
Yes,
especially studios like
Absolutely.
Activision and Blizzard. They just canceled that other one that Blizzard was working on, right?
Yeah.
And if I was thinking, if they were doing an existing IP Western RPG, it would have been more under the Blizzard side, right? Because you'd be looking at like Warcraft or StarCraft or something like that, a Western RPG that's a safe IP to do so. But under the Activision side, really they have some good stuff, but really the only major IP that's would make sense to do anything with is Call of Duty, right? Like, so, and that's not gonna be a Western RPG, you know. So
I'd like them to try it. Go for it.
I just look at their history and what they did before, and they're doing licensed stuff, and maybe they're gonna go back to that. Who knows, man? That's what fun speculation's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just glad that we're seeing, like, hate to use these words, but like organic growth kind of come out of nowhere. Because we've always said, like, we want these studios to like pop up with new studios all the time, and this is what's happening. This is why, like, when all these people kind of doom and gloom out here about the industry as a whole, I kind of laugh, because every time that happens, there's like 5 new studios that pop out of fucking nowhere. Yeah, because this industry is healthy. It might be going through a downturn right now, but it is in no way going anywhere, and it is not in trouble. I can promise you that. There's way too much money to be made here.
And another thing, if you were to have a deal with a third-party partner, like for a licensed game, that would probably help protect that studio and if there's any kind of layoffs and stuff like that as well.
Very good point, Mav. Absolutely. Yeah, because they'll get some cash back up there for sure.
Real quick, RHETRI, attention, ladies and gentlemen. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, aboard the Gamers Council hype train on a Sunday night. Please, I did not make announcements before, but I got to do this one because it's one and only WEBDAVE dropped off some coals at the engine, and we got the furnace burning a little bit hotter. We were cruising along before at a nice, like, Mach 4.0. So what I need you to do is pay attention to those monitors above your heads, because we will be closing the windows at this time, because we have now reached Mach 5.0, and we might lose somebody out one of those windows, and it's a little dangerous. So what I need you to do is watch those monitors and make sure you watch the attendants as well as they come around and check your 4-point harnesses. You need to make sure they're buckled down tight. We don't want anybody flying off the Gamers Council hype train tonight on a Sunday at Mach 5.0. So choo-choo, motherfuckers. Enjoy the ride. Let's go.
Okay, hold
You're so
on. Sorry,
entertaining,
more
Pong.
speculation. Okay,
He's like, I thought of another thing.
Stop.
Let's go.
I can't stop
Go
with
ahead.
this. Okay, Elsewhere is a realm in the Marvel universe. Okay, Elsewhere is a realm in the Marvel universe, right? And also there was potential talk about transmedia and all that kind of stuff with this studio as well. So I'm gonna add those just in my bucket, because if I'm right 5 years from now, when this game gets announced and it's like a Marvel game, I want everybody to go back to this time to give me credit for this. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter because it was so crazy anyway, right? But if I'm right, you know, I put everything out there on this show. Elsewhere Entertainment's working on I 20% guarantee this. Elsewhere Entertainment is working on a Marvel game for Activision.
Love
there
it.
You go.
Clip it. There you go. Save it for later.
20%,
20%.
20% guaranteed.
Oh, love it. Dave, you want to add anything to this conversation, or you want to move on to the next topic?
I mean, the hype train is clear. And I just I love it. And having Bev and Pong Mom on tonight.
Mom and Pa are here to set you straight.
I'm Paul Kittle. Yeah.
Can you make me some more chicken nuggets?
Caitlin's in the other room going, what the fuck is
No,
he
she's
wanting?
out. She's outside right now.
And enjoying the pool, right?
Yeah.
I think she called you her pool boy.
Yeah, man. It's been. Oh my god.
That must have been fun.
Y'all don't want to know what I see what I was having to do last weekend to get that thing ready. Gross.
Probably don't. Although you could probably make it your separate little channel, you know, exclusive bonus behind the scenes footage for your channel. There you go. But yeah, no, you know, unless you got some comments on it, man, let's get to the next topic, because we have so many topics to cover still. And
yeah, we spent too long on that one. My bad.
Not at all. No, dude, that's not what I'm saying, man. Look, we could go all night with you guys. I don't want to burn you out, but I'm just saying, I love your input. I love your insight. I love your speculation. I mean, this is why you're here, man. So awesome, dude. Keep it coming.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Why is 3-Bit in the chat dancing like a cha-cha from Greece?
Oh, Pixelated Echoes is here.
He is dancing like a cha-cha.
Yeah, they had their show earlier tonight.
Cha-cha, it's like the cha-cha dress from Greece.
It is. Yeah.
No sound cipher. There's no pausing tonight.
Pause. Big pause. There you go.
No pausing.
All right, we can move on to the next thing. I'm gonna skip this. I was gonna talk about. I want to get to some certain topics. I was gonna play something from Crimson Desert, but we'll skip that. Let's just know that game's coming, and it's looking damn fine.
If you ever have Steel Rain on, that should be your lead topic.
Is he all about the Crimson Desert game coming out? Okay.
Yeah, I think.
A lot of us are.
Yeah,
but yeah, he played a ton of Black Desert Online. He's got.
Okay.
So he knows that studio very, very well. So, but yeah, no, I'd be on the lookout for that at the showcase. So that's been my guess that shows up, because it's time we see it again. So it's definitely time, and they're getting close. So.
Yeah, they said there's going to be a playable version at Gamescom this year too. So that's freaking fantastic, man. And the game is coming along. It looks great. Like, I think that's one of those games that's going to kind of come out of nowhere. People are kind of forgetting about it, maybe sleeping on Crimson Desert because they forgot it existed.
Okay, that one's single player, right?
Yes,
I
that's
believe
the
so.
single
Yeah.
player one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So people sleep on a lot of Eastern stuff, but that's changing slowly but surely, man, because they got a different style that just really hits. Steel and I and a lot of us have been preaching that's, you know, not just Japan, right? It's Korea and it's China now. There is so much freaking talent.
Pearl Abyss is Korean, right? Is that am I or is that wrong? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Shout out to the Eastern talent, man. This he has a lot more, like you said, Pong, outside of Japan. But let's move on to one of the spicy subjects, because this was kind of controversial for a long time, because there was some people in the media and YouTubers saying that Call of Duty was not coming to Game Pass, but it turns out that's not true. So Call of Duty, according to Wall Street Journal and Sarah and Matt and Phil, is coming to Game Pass. It's a done deal, according to the Wall Street Journal. So it seems like they had some inside sources. Maybe they just listened to the same podcast and stuff that we did, where they told us this over and over and over again. But it was kind of fun to speculate with a lot of people saying that it wasn't a good idea for Xbox to have a game as big as Call of Duty in a service. It's going to kill Xbox. They're leaving way too much money on the table. It's a bad idea because XYZ. And I don't, obviously I'm the Game Pass guy. I want everything to come. I want it all. I'm greedy. I'm a gamer. Like Pong said earlier, that's what matters to me is the games. And I get to save money. So like when I see people out there keep talking about Xbox and like all these games from Xbox are going to PlayStation, and they question, why should I even own an Xbox? I say, because if you go play those exact same games on the other service, on the other side, you're going to pay way more than I am. Just off of first party alone this year, you'll pay over $400 for first party, where I will pay $200 and change, 220 to be exact, if you want to be exact. So that's my saying, where you say, like, why would I do that? It's, well, I like money. That's why I'm sticking over here, because Game Pass is going to be all these games day one. But let's start with you, Mav.
Hold on one second.
What?
Before we get to that, we should probably go with Pong. Go a different direction. We're going to Mav first every time.
Okay.
Before
it don't matter.
It don't matter. Either one.
It don't matter.
I don't want to burn them both out. But let's play this little clip real quick from the Black Viking had it up on his site. This is just kind of what we open the show with to kind of get the fever pitch going.
Get the pump.
Day one, Xbox Game Pass.
I love that.
Yeah. Shout out to Viking, man. He's a good dude. Pong,
There you go.
what do you think about? Yeah, you're good, man. What do you think about this? The whole Call of Duty going on Game Pass day one. Did you have any doubts that Xbox might pull a quick switcheroo and not put their first party games day one, or what?
My mind was completely blown. I passed out at the news. I woke up 24 hours later and I had to double check, and I passed out again when it was confirmed again. Like, it was nuts, man.
Again and again.
No. Again, it's so strange how this all happens, especially when you've been around for a while now and watched all this stuff kind of transpire and how the conversations go and why people get upset. I still don't understand some of this stuff. But anyways, the facts are the facts. Again, after, I'm sure Tom Warren's reporting was accurate and they had discussions. I'm sure I
believe that too.
I think this whole entire thing was analyzed to death. They probably had every single possible thing that could happen if they put it in Game Pass and if they didn't put it in Game Pass. Every scenario was broken down, right? So absolutely the discussions happened. But when we had the podcast, right, and they all said and confirmed yet again that all the ABK and first party titles would be in Game Pass day and date, I was like, that's your answer. And then when we had the Sarah Bond interview and she said the whole slate, it was tripling down. Okay. At that point, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, again, of course, could somebody step in and just cancel the whole thing and say, yeah, absolutely, we're not doing this, right? Of course, that could happen. But no, this was going to be the case. This is part of the reason why they went and spent $70 billion, right? Not the main course of the meal, but this was definitely a good looking dessert to have along with what they wanted, which was the mobile and PC side. Call of Duty is a massive dessert. They are still all in on Game Pass as one of the vehicles, if not the main vehicle, to get into their ecosystem. They have not abandoned that yet. So it would have been the signs of them killing off Game Pass if they didn't follow through with this. Okay.
I agree.
In my eyes,
Yep.
they had to follow through on this. They wanted to follow through on this because I believe, again, call me an optimist, right? I believe that there is a chance for them to continue to grow Game Pass the way that they initially thought they would. Their internal goals of 50 million to 100 million, I still think are obtainable in the long run. Is it happening the way they thought it would happen? No, a lot has changed since they started this generation, right? A lot of things have occurred. Things that they didn't even know were going to happen, like the ABK deal has happened. But with Call of Duty, this is now your IP. You stamp the hell out of this thing with Xbox. And that includes putting it in a Game Pass and advertising it everywhere, having bundles. And again, this is what you do to start that process that you lost when you decided not to sign Call of Duty again to marketing rights. And you gave it to PlayStation. You watch PlayStation take that and run all over it, right? And just, you got to do the same thing now in reverse. This is your IP. You make it yours. You make it so that everybody associates Call of Duty once again with Xbox. You still, to this day, despite everything that has happened, if you ask the majority of gamers who have played both systems or who have an understanding of online game playing, Xbox is still known as the multiplayer place to play. Okay? Yeah. PlayStation certainly has done a better job. The marketing rights for Call of Duty have helped, but Xbox is still the multiplayer console and place that you go to play. Now, has it shifted because popularity contest is what it is and PlayStation won and people just follow their friends? Sure. But the facts now that you have Call of Duty back and that you can use it and wield it to promote Game Pass, to promote your ecosystem, to promote all the benefits that you give players who jump into Xbox with your services, you do it, and you do it more than you ever would have prior to this, because you do have a chance to start grabbing back mind share. We just found out this week that nearly half or over half of PlayStation players still have not upgraded to current gen. You have heard that Xbox, same thing. Over half of the Xbox players are still playing on Xbox One. So if that is the case, there are two titles. There are two titles that can move the needle when they announce they are current gen only. One of them is Call of Duty, and of course the other one is Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 6 is not coming out until at least the fall of next year if they make that mark. You have the other title in your possession. Now, am I saying there's going to be a massive landslide? No. Is there a possibility? Sure, there's a chip in a chair. But what you could do is you can make a dent, okay? It just depends how big that dent is. That's all they need to do.
Remember, we saw this at during the FTC too. They said for this they only needed 2 million. Do you seriously think that 2 million people won't come over for COD for Game Pass? I think that's actually a pretty easy number to attain. Personally,
it's certainly possible, right? Again, the second step in that is we still don't know if this is a current gen only title. Nobody's confirmed that. There's been a lot of speculation, but there's been no confirmation. If this is a current gen only, I think that's a huge W for them. And I think that will move people over. And when people start seeing Xbox branded all over Call of Duty again, psychologically speaking, a lot of players nowadays know they play with everybody through crossplay anyways, right? Doesn't matter where you are, even your friends, right? It's just kind of natural. I think with the Series S as the entry point for a lot of people who have not moved due to cost, because of this economy, that's when the Series S could be your winning ticket, right? Because then they start looking and they go, okay, man, I got to get a PS5 or I got to get an Xbox, man. And they start looking at the prices. And then they realize, they start learning about Game Pass. They start understanding that Call of Duty's in there. And they're like, man, Series S, look at that. They got it bundled with 30 days of Game Pass with Call of Duty now. And it's only going to cost me like $300 to get in on this thing. I do think that you can have people move, like you said, RHETRI. I think that, $1 million, 2 million, 3 million are certainly plausible. And what that does is starts at least showing momentum again in Game Pass, which we know on the console side. PC side is still, they've talked about it multiple times. PC side is doing pretty well. They're still seeing a nice influx of people joining PC Game Pass, but the console has stagnated. We know
Tapered
that.
off.
It's not anything negative. It's just what happened, right? But this would start that gradual climb again for Game Pass. And we know the lineup they have. We know the other games are coming in. We know that not only is the second half this year massive for Xbox, we know next year they're lined up to not even have a first half of the year like they did this year where there wasn't any really big games. They're going to have big games ready for next year, I believe, the beginning of the year. And it's going to continue throughout the entire year. So in the meantime, you got PlayStation with no roadmap, right? You got PlayStation not having any games really coming out outside of second-party games and exclusive deals. You have nothing there for the masses, right? Helldivers, right? The one that has taken off, obviously. But you have nothing else really lined up. Now we hear the games as service. So you have this moment in time. Even if they do announce the PS5 Pro, they're not going to have any games for it. Or if it is, it's just going to be a remaster of a remaster of a remaster yet again. And they're going to try to resell it to you again, most likely. So you all of a sudden have Call of Duty. You have all these new games in your lineup. You have a group of people who probably haven't even tried some of your other games that have come out previously. And all of a sudden you look fresh to them. You look fresh, and you got a low entry point in the Series S to get them in and get them started on Game Pass. I do think that this could work. I think this is a massive moment. I think it was vital that they did this. However they got to do it. Now, what is the cost to us gamers going to be? That's what we're going to find out, right? If they're going to rearrange tiers, if they're going to do something new with Game Pass, would any of us be shocked at this point? No. None of us are going to be shocked. No. I'm never going to cheer on any kind of price raise, price raising at all from a company that still has billion-dollar profits every quarter. I'm not ever going to cheer that on, but realistically, when we look at all of our subscription services, do we think that they're going to stay the same? Probably not. So that's what we'll have to wait and see. But I think they've got a moment in time right now with Call of Duty putting this in the Game Pass, especially if it's Gulf War, especially if they do announce that it's current gen only, that they really could make that dent that we talked about in the beginning of the conversation. So I think this was an awesome, again, it's still not confirmed. Again, this was was Wall Street Journal saying it, but obviously we knew this was coming. It's going to be announced at the showcase. It's going to make a huge splash again when it's announced, because people are going to be like, oh my God, they really are doing it.
For real.
Really doing it now.
Exactly.
Oh God. So, but anyways, yeah, I think this is cool, man. This is great. This is what part of the reason why they spent the money they did.
Absolutely. $5 from Scrub Nurse. Appreciate you, brother. He says, just jumping in to show some love. Hit that like button, gang. Thank you, Scrub Nurse. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Appreciate what you said, Pong. We actually said that same sentiment last night on our podcast. Once we heard how many PlayStation 4 people were left over, I'm like, would it be that hard? And then when we said the exact same thing you just said, Pong, was that Series S, was that introductory just to get over to the other side, right? Where it's looking real sweet over there with Call of Duty, and even sweeter if you learn about something called All Access, right? Where you can get that Series S even cheaper for, say, $25 a month with Game Pass included. Like, that's not a bad deal if you don't have, like, everyone's hurting for money, right? That is not a bad deal if you were hurting for money. And who knows if the All Access is still going to be there? Who knows at the price point that it's going to be at when that happens? It could be $250, so it might not be $25 a month. It might be a little bit less. I know a lot of people who got their systems because they couldn't afford the Series X or S for $25 or $35 a month, and that it got them Game Pass. And every single person that I sent that to has thanked me up and down. They thought it was like the greatest thing ever. So I agree with you on that, Pong. $2 million for COD. Dude, I think that's easy, to be honest with you. You go from 34 million to 36 million, and it pays itself off. And you hope that those people stick around and keep paying, just like the rest of us suckers do for Netflix, even though it keeps fucking going up. Yeah. We caught up with Supers before I move on?
Yes, but Samuel did make a good point that, as some other people have said this too, that I think that the
FTC raising prices thing.
I don't think that they even can, because of the thing. I mean, at least I believe the way where they were talking about
never
it.
The way they worded official. I
Okay,
don't
okay.
know if it ever became official. If that's the case, even better. Okay, like
Yeah,
again,
I
I'm
would
not
love
going to
that
cheer
too.
on, but but I also thought too, WebDave, when did they get around that by restructuring all of Game Pass? And
Right.
They do.
There's
You know
such
what
an
I'm saying?
easy way to fly. All you
Family
have
plan.
to do is
Bring
say
family
it's
plan.
not because
Right.
of COD. We can literally just say it's because of XYZ.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And,
Like, it's
and
a
we still got a
corporation. They
tier
can
that's
find a
at
way
that
around it.
price, right? We still got a tier that's
Right.
at that price. So we're just offering more tiers now. Like that's all we're
Yeah.
doing. We're not really raising prices, right? So
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know all the legalities. I don't
hope
know if
not.
that was actually official in there, but that's the smoke. But again, if they don't, fantastic. Again, I'm riding this thing till the wheels fall off, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yes.
I mean, again, whatever. I mean, but yeah, we'll find out because it's good. I think they announce it now. Mav thinks a little bit differently, which he might get into. But I do think they announce it sooner than later if they're going to do something like that. But that's just
Are you talking
my
like a
thought.
price increase? Like
Right, or
sooner
a
than later?
restructuring
Okay.
of the tiers or new tiers
Yeah.
or whatever they're going to do. Yeah, I think that is announced sooner than later after the showcase. But anyways,
Okay.
I'll let Mav
Fair,
get
fair
on
enough.
this.
Yeah, Mav, let's get your take on this whole Call of Duty thing, and maybe you can tell us that you think the prices are staying the same, right? Yeah.
Yeah, So I think the prices will stay the same for a while. Like, basically, just because of the this is the first opportunity they have something like Call of Duty to rack in as many people as they possibly can. But I don't
get
think
them in
they
the
want to
door
have.
cheap.
Yeah, I don't think they want to have like a negative potential sentiment or like people thinking about that kind of stuff before then. I think they want everybody to get in, have this crazy huge slate of games for the second half, get as many people as they possibly can, and get everybody kind of addicted to Game Pass and be like, now we're going to
Right.
slightly restructure or go up on the prices a little bit. And people are like, oh, yeah, I guess it makes sense because of all of this awesomeness. People are going to be upset no matter what. So there's really no 100% right way to do it. I could be completely wrong, but if it was me, that's how I would do it. I would go in and just say, hey, we got all this now. It's too good to be true. So eat it up while you can. And then later kind of hit everybody with like a small price increase or restructure at a different time. And I think it could be some interesting things. I think they got to redo some things also if they like do a handheld, because the whole system with the my home Xbox isn't going to really work with a handheld, I don't think. So a family plan could come later. I think there's going to be a general restructuring at some point anyway with all this kind of stuff. And with ABK, it makes sense. And then maybe they'll do some other things too. Mobile Game Pass could also be a piece to the puzzle at some point.
Yeah.
But like, let's get into the actually just Call of Duty and Game Pass, because this is like made some people upset. I don't understand. And I gotta say, hey, this is a public service announcement. I got a couple public service announcements. Okay. This is called this is a Q-tip. Okay. So you can use
I love
this
that you had that ready.
to clean your ears, right? So if you're having trouble hearing when Sarah Bond tells you that everything is coming to Game Pass, you can use this. Now, maybe if you didn't hear the first time, clean your ears, and maybe you can hear her when she says it for the second fucking time. And then maybe it will work then. But no, I guess you needed the Wall Street Journal to come out and say, we've heard this. No shit, Sarah just told us. She just told us twice within a period of a month. She's told us this is happening. They told us in the FTC trial that this is happening. Now, I do understand that there's conversations, right? I understand there's conversations. But when they sit up on the stage and whatever kind of event and they say, yeah, everything's coming to Game Pass, including everything from Activision Blizzard, that means exactly what it says.
What it sounds like.
And when she goes up and has to answer the question about the studios being laid off, and then she's like, but we still have everything coming to Game Pass, including everything from Activision Blizzard, she means what she says. She said it again. And now everybody ignored it. But I thought it was a done deal. I thought everybody already assumed this and everybody knew it because we've been told numerous times. But no, for some reason, people were surprised. It was like, oh my God, what's happening? They're putting Call of Duty on Game Pass? Wait a second. What the fuck is Game Pass? How do I do this? You mean I have to subscribe to Game Pass? Oh, this is horrible. I don't want to have to subscribe to Game Pass. This is the second public service announcement for you dumbasses out there. You don't have to.
That's
if
right.
you still want to buy the game, You can still buy it. I see people being like, "Oh, it's like at $200 per year for Call of Duty. I don't want to do that." Then don't. You don't have to. It is an option. It is.
How did I know
completely
Mav was going to
optional.
start this?
Everything with Game Pass has always been optional. You can still buy your games. They are not saying you can't buy Call of Duty. And guess what? When they sell the games to millions of Xbox gamers and to millions of PlayStation gamers and to millions of PC gamers and to all these people, they are still making money on everybody that they're selling the game to. Game Pass doesn't mean they're not making money on game sales anymore. It means they're also making some money on the subscription service for the people that are subscribed. There's also an added benefit. This is the third public service announcement for you people. There just might, hypothetically, I don't know, call me crazy, I don't know, but there might be some people that wouldn't have bought Call of Duty now play it.
Bingo, man.
Because it's in Game Pass and it's first party. And guess what? Those people might, hypothetically, I don't know, it's just a crazy thought, spend money on microtransactions when they're playing Call of Duty in Game Pass.
Right here, understanding. Not gonna lie, I'll be buying a lot more cosmetics now that COD will be in Game Pass, and that is where the real money comes from. Not that 70 up front. It's behind the scenes. Go ahead, Matt.
Do you think they are not thinking about making money when they're putting Call of Duty in Game Pass? Is that not the motivating factor behind this entire deal? You think they're just like, we love gamers. We just want to put games in Game Pass and ruin the industry. No, they want to make money. This is good for them. Oh, fourth public service announcement. Their financials continuously show that Game Pass is profitable and sustainable and successful in its own self. Guess what? Because it's optional. It's its own little entity that they have that is growing. Game Pass and Call of Duty. Call of Duty is the biggest thing that's going to help Game Pass grow to where they want to get it to. Right? They are finally have this whole second half slate of games of all different kinds of variety coming, starting with Hellblade 2 coming in here in a few days. They have a monster like Call of Duty that has a huge casual fan base that doesn't ever care about Game Pass, doesn't care about Xbox and all this kind of stuff. And now all of a sudden you see all these people on social media and everything. Oh, what does this mean? Oh, I might actually have to learn about this now because it's happening and they own it. And this is where that whole relationship of marketing and brand association all starts. So guess what? I'm glad that your dumbasses didn't use your damn Q-tips and clean out your ears. And I'm glad you're surprised now because you're creating so much conversation about Call of Duty coming into Game Pass that people are understanding and finally starting to actually talk about this and realize what's going on and what Game Pass is and why it's great. And it's absolutely awesome to see that. I think this is going to kind of move the needle, at least as far as conversation goes. We'll see how many people they get to bring into Game Pass, but ultimately it's just going to help Game Pass. It's going to help people access the games. As a consumer, I don't give a fuck if it's good for Microsoft or not. I just want to play the damn games. And guess what? I was going to buy it anyway. And now I don't have to. Now I don't have to. And I'm happy about that. Does it mean they don't make money on me? No, they still make money on me because I'm subscribed to Game Pass. You dumbasses, I still get my money anyway, right? And then guess what? The money that I don't spend because I'm not having to buy that, I buy more games with it. It's magic. I don't understand how people do not get this, but it's always been like this. And I think this is that time finally where I think the value that Game Pass is going to be offering to the consumers is going to slap them in the face and they can't ignore it anymore. Right. And they'll be like, okay, well, I got to have a hard talk with myself. I've been talking shit on Twitter and stuff for a couple years, but you know what? I've been a PlayStation casual and the only game I ever play is Call of Duty and Madden and all this kind of stuff. And I just realized that all this shit's in Game Pass. Oh, and I haven't upgraded my console yet to the next generation. Oh man, what am I gonna do? Oh, I guess what? I guess I might actually consider buying that piece of shit Xbox that everybody keeps telling me about because guess what? It has so much value. I just can't ignore it because guess what? At the end of the day, money speaks.
Yeah.
Value
Yeah, it does.
speaks more than anything else. And this is that game. This is that time. I think, and it's going to start with Hellblade 2, the reviews. I think are going to completely slam people in the face. Then you're going to see the showcase, right? You're going to see the summer showcase, and they're going to have the longest, biggest summer showcase you've ever had with a huge Call of Duty marketing thing at the end of it, talking about all this stuff. And they're going to drop all these Call of Duty games into Game Pass from the past, and they're going to talk about this new one that's coming to Game Pass day one. And then you're going to see all the articles about that and all the mass media and games media and even like other people like Wall Street and stuff like that talking about this. And then you're going to see all these other games announced at the showcase, all these other games coming either later this year and next year. And everybody's going to be like, oh, those games come day one too?
Yep.
Oh, that's like Call of Duty. You mean I'm not paying $200 a year just for Call of Duty if I subscribe to Game Pass? You mean I get all these other things that I might actually be interested in? It's going to hit them in the face like a ton of bricks, man. And I can't wait to see the flip of the games media on the value there, instead of how bad it is for things, how bad it is for the industry to be like, oh my God, I got to get this. I got to get it. It's going to happen.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree. And they're going to be like,
Oh no! What happened? What happened? Oh no!
Yeah.
How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
I like that one.
so we got a lot of, I had to try to bring you out in the solo box there, Mav, because so many people were talking
Yes,
about
thank you for
Yeah,
that.
no
Yeah.
problem. Hey, and I got extra Q-tips for any of you idiots out there. If you need
Props.
these,
Mav,
you
bring
need
your props.
I'm gonna start passing them out. I'll put an Xbox sticker on my car and say free Q-tips for you deaf ass people out there that can't hear Sarah Bond speak because your ears are clogged. I will start passing these out for you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Read some of these if you don't mind.
Oh man, the elemental hero, the Shadow Link, Dragon Wolf King. Damn you for making the longest name
Yes.
of all time.
I've
Just became
damned
a
him
member
before too.
for
The
1
elemental
month.
hero, the
Appreciate
Shadow
you.
Link, Dragon Wolf King.
COD doesn't need Game Pass, and Game Pass doesn't need COD, he says. COD sells itself for its story, lore, DLC, and zombies. It only needs it for the multiplayer, and that's it. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. It doesn't, one doesn't really need the other, but one's going to help the other. That's for damn sure.
That's for
John
damn
Wolf
sure.
just became...
Need is a strong word, right? Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
the
Just became
Xbox
a member for
didn't
1
need to
month.
close those studios.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or maybe they
COD
did.
Special Edition Series S bundled with COD this holiday, and going forward wins the NA market and console sales. Keep up the great work, guys. A bundle with COD. That'd be something, man. I don't know what
Dude,
that would
can you
cost, but
imagine
holy
this holiday
shit.
if there was going to be like a
That'd be hard to ignore.
the S bundle of like at a new low price, and they like $199 the white console with the 500 gigabytes, and saying includes 3 months of Game Pass, and the whole front of it just being a big fucking big ass Call of Duty.
Yeah. I
the
think
new
that's
one.
more likely. I like the 3 months of Game Pass thing.
The
Yeah.
small little box of like, includes every COD game ever released in Game Pass. Play what you like. Play it day one on Game Pass. I mean, just this so much. It'll fucking sell itself, man.
Yeah, I think surprisingly people are underestimating COD, which is just surprising the shit out of me, because I'm just really now we're underselling COD now.
No,
Okay.
Retri. It's because Game Pass is gonna make them make terrible
It's
COD games now, man. They're
Yeah.
gonna skimp on COD now. It's
Call
gonna
of Duty's
wind up
been
being.
the same damn thing for 20 years.
It's
and all
gonna
of
be-
a sudden, we're worried about it. Oh, come
They're
on.
gonna turn it
Exactly,
into
Matt.
foam stars now, Retri, just because they can't spend any money on it because they're giving it away in Game Pass. Don't you get it? Oh man,
I guess
It's
I
over with.
don't understand how the economics work here. I'm just a gamer and happy that I will not have to pay $70 this year, because I did last year and the year before that and the year before that. So I'm just happy I'm saving money, man.
Was it was Vanguard Game Pass's fault? I just have a question out there.
That's a good point.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't, right?
No.
It just depends. There's going to be good years and there's going to be bad years.
They say Game Pass. They say COD shit every single year, and look what happened with the the last COD when it reached
best selling
proportions.
ever.
Yeah, best selling in 10 days. Farq with the $5 says, "I hate you, Farq. Mav is a pony tamer. 1 and 2 still coming. Me and OCD want it really bad. There you go.
I just like how FarQ picks the most handsome picture
He does.
to put up there.
Dude,
like the
he's
eighth
so
one he's
fast
used
too. Like every time I
Great.
get close to the camera, like he's fast, man. You can't mess with.
You look a
Farq.
little bit like my grandfather in that.
Thank you.
Hey, Hargeet, welcome, Hargeet Johnny.
Pony Tamer 1, I think, was canceled as part of the whole cancellations, but Pony Tamer 2
yes.
is still a go.
They're just gonna skip
still-
one and go right
Yeah.
to the sequel.
Yeah, Ellsworth
Yes.
Studios. Yeah, they had already been doing a deal with this team.
It's now games
yeah.
as a service too, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It's actually going to launch with one map and one character,
Nice.
and then
And
it's
some foam.
from there. 6-month season,
Nice. Oh man.
$50 battle pass.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you, Farq. Appreciate you, brother.
It's called Concord.
Yeah.
It's called Jiggly Burger. Yeah.
Watch it wiggle, see it jiggle.
Oh man. I'm thinking, Dave, maybe we move on to kind of talking about the possibilities of the Xbox showcase, and you could probably bring up the last thing that I sent you in the stream.
I will definitely do that.
private
And
jet.
you guys have a few little bit longer to go. I mean, we're right at the 2-hour mark. I want to make sure
Yeah, no,
you
we're
guys
fine.
do.
No,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
good.
Excellent. All right. So it is time for the trip. And everybody here in our chat, we're 400 people watching on
Yeah, I
YouTube
appreciate you guys.
and on X. We are fully loaded on the train heading to Speculation Town. Oh, yes. And we have the kings of speculation. That's right. Mav and Pong Soul here with us. The co-mayors, is that what you've been called before? Yeah. I say the presidents of the... Yeah, exactly. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And, Hargit, I'll send you a link. Yeah, let me, because he wants to get on this one too.
Oh, he wants in on it. All right.
That's good. That's good. I'll get you there.
We love
Let
you,
me
Hargit.
let me get this up for RHETRI real quick, and then
Hargeet's not part of the speculation mayor town thing. Or should we make a?
Should we induct him?
We could. He's kind of a realist, I think.
He kind of is a realist. Yeah.
He's got a key to the back door.
He's a very positive realist. That's what I call Hargeet. He's the optimistic realist.
Okay, so
That's true.
What's up now? Gaming Showcase. All right, cool. All right. Oh goodness, that's a RHETRI. This is a good one.
Yeah, dude. He
Alright.
this dude's kind of underrated, kind of like Clobreel and stuff. He's been contacting me for a while, so I've been meaning to showcase some of his stuff because he's putting some good stuff together. I think I would at least probably maybe start with this. It's like a slideshow, probably like the second one kind of gives you the idea what's at least the possibilities and why I agree with Mav, and I think this is going to be the longest frickin' show like they've had yet.
Awesome.
Because the possibilities are endless.
All right, so let me. Is that the best way to do this, or do you want a different layout? Is that a good one, or you want the one? I'll set the bottom.
I think I don't know if as long as everyone could see it. Is that like if you hit full? Is it full screen for you, Dave, on your side?
Well, I mean, it's. Let's see here. Yeah, that's as big as I can make that image.
Okay,
But I can actually get it bigger by putting this at the bottom.
that's
Let me
fine
do that
too.
real quick.
Yeah,
Let's try that. See what it looks like. Worst case scenario, if you don't like it, I can switch it back.
I mean we're just going into speculation
layouts.
town. Obviously, this guy put kind of everything and anything that is a possibility, but that's what I think makes it so exciting. Because once you start seeing all this stuff, you're like, and you realize the Xbox roadmap, it's fucking insane. It is insane. And then there's first party and then there's third party too, right? So a lot of people discount third party deals as well. But man, this is crazy to me.
A lot of games.
Yeah. That's a lot of games, man. Yeah. So
You can go ahead and jump in. I will go ahead and send him the link. He'll jump in when he gets a chance there.
Yeah, sure. So he's showing, I'll just read these off. Call of Duty Warzone, Elder Scrolls, Fallout 76, Overwatch 2, Diablo, Sea of Thieves, Flight Sim 2024. You got Shattered Space coming this year, World of Warcraft, Indiana Jones, Avowed, Towerborn, Aura, History Untold, don't sleep on that game, South of Midnight, Clockwork Revolution, Contraband, Minecraft, Grounded, State of Decay 3, Perfect Dark, Halo Infinite, Everwild, Fable, Outer Worlds 2, Age of Empires 4, I'm not sure why he's got that one in here, Age of Mythology, Hearthstone, Forza Motorsport, Project Mara, Blade, Elder Scrolls 6, OD, amongst other ones they're on the other page, as well as like project and rumored titles. So Gulf War, we know that's a given. Gears 6, Gears Collection, Doom or a Quake possible remake, maybe Doom Year Zero or the Quake thing that's been teased about. A Double Fine game, the new IP, possibly being Kiln. We've heard a lot about Kiln. Or if you haven't, go watch one of my videos. Kiln is a thing. Let's see. Forza Horizon 6. People are talking about that being a possibility. Whatever ZeniMax Online still working on. Project Shaolin, the thing from Wu-Tang. Certain Affinities, Project Suerte, StarCraft, Oblivion Remaster, Fallout 3 Master, Spyro, we know that's obviously probably Toys for Bob stuff, Crackdown, Obsidian Entertainment, whatever their passion project is, IOI, Project Fantasy, 343 Industries, new IP. Some of these are a stretch. Banjo Kazooie, Hexen, Killer Instinct, Guitar Hero, some revived stuff possibly. Let's see. He's saying possibly a new IP from Coalition. He's kind of alluding to it being something in the Matrix universe. Project Maverick from People Can Fly, something I'm super excited about. He's got Ori in here. I don't know if I buy that one. Exiles, second project, Wolfenstein 3. So I'm just saying, man, this is like never ending. On trailers and stuff, we could see this also, of course, third-party stuff here like Path of the Goddess from Capcom, Star Wars Outlaws, Visions of Mana, another game that's coming, another Eastern game, so let's go. You got Replaced. What the hell is going on with Replaced? The first Kazan. It's just endless, guys. Let's just talk about what you are looking forward to possibly seeing at the showcase. Anything that has you personally excited to see coming up. How you doing, Hargeet? What's going on, brother?
Hey,
let Hargeet get on the Call of Duty talk.
The COD thing. So one little point that just occurred to me is apparently the 360 store is about to close in the next couple of months.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so an exclusive to Game Pass will be access to all those 360 CODs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So they market
you won't be able to buy
a good point, dude.
Yep.
Right. So
That's
now
a
you
good
do
point.
have an exclusive in Game Pass. That's
like
not just like small little.
going.
It's a fucking amazing set of exclusives. You get the entire history of COD in freaking Game Pass, which won't be available to buy. Right? You can find the disc, maybe, right? But otherwise,
maybe,
if you come over, like you get exclusive access to COD in Game Pass, which could potentially drive those numbers up. I'm just saying, right? If you want to be a console gamer,
absolutely,
that could be an interesting thing to market. That hey, you want access to those old CODs? No problem. Subscribe to Game Pass. And I don't know if anybody checked out my video on the cost comparison.
I did,
but
video.
So like, the shocking answer is that it's bloody the same. It's if you're on console, it's the same cost. If you get discounted versions of everything. Right, so you get $70 for the game. You pay $45 for online access, $115, and if you pay for discounted Game Pass Ultimate, it's $111. So it's cheaper to just get Game Pass. PC, same thing. It's $70 to buy it, or $71 to get PC Game Pass, and you get all of this other stuff, right? So imagine if that is like I think it was WebDave. You were saying this, like having the box have everything. Like they could literally do that and say. We have the Call of Duty box, not Call of Duty, Black Ops 6. We have the Call of Duty box. Come over and you get all of it.
Could you imagine like a commercial that they could do for that? Like somebody walking with like 20 like Call of Duty games in like a stack, Like,
exactly.
Man, you wouldn't believe how many stores I had to go to try and find all these things, man. It was ridiculous. And the guy's like, oh, I just signed up to Game Pass.
Mhm.
Yep.
Plus,
Yeah, I can
plus
play
they
with
should
all
have
my
that.
friends.
They should have that splash screen at the end of every Call of Duty trailer that
Yeah.
goes
Hell
out
yeah.
with the Xbox Series X, the Series S, now available in
Yes,
Game
Pong.
Pass, Call of Duty, and then by the way, you also get the entire Call of Duty catalog as well, along with that subscription, and flash that screen with all the titles on there. It would be every Call of Duty advertisement.
Do you
should have
imagine that? If they do
Yes.
it right, I mean, geez,
Yes.
dude, now you actually have an exclusive, not by virtue of the fact that they were making it exclusive, it just happens to be that way.
Oh,
You have
and if they
exclusive
like
to Game
FPS
Pass.
boost the old
That's
school,
very
so
compelling.
120 frames, like as well. Like that gives
Absolutely,
it 4K
yeah.
up-res, right?
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
auto HDR, all that kind of stuff.
We saw what happened
Servers
when they
active.
opened back the server. Yeah, when those servers came up, we saw what happened. And those are old CODs. Those are old ass CODs. So, oh man, I don't think people are ready for this. I really don't. It's too crazy. That's a great point
thanks.
that you brought up, Hargeet. By the way, I started reading your book. It's really good, man. So,
you
if
like
you guys
it? Awesome,
haven't,
awesome.
yeah, I do. If you guys haven't purchased Hargeet's book, I think you should. It's really good, man.
URL.
I'll put the link
There's
in the
a
description.
URL. Yeah, we'll put the link for sure. I guess we'll start since you came in here, Hargeet. What are you expecting to see during the Xbox showcase? And what are you excited to see? What are you expecting to see? I should say.
Man, so like excited to see, like everybody's gonna mention the obvious things, right? So there's
course.
Forza Horizon 6, that would be kind of cool to see. Like if they do the freaking, we get COD, Forza, Halo, and Gears in the same freaking thing. Right? It just go crazy. Like the COD thing, if they do this, if they say this screenshot, all the Xbox ones, right, instead of the PlayStation ones, but you take this screenshot and say, yo, drop it in Game Pass. Right. And hey, from now on, you can play all the CODs. Like we're the home of COD. Right. So that would be crazy to see. The other one, I think, if they want to really, reach out to the Japanese side, Persona 6, if they can bring that over, a secret ABK game. Like we just opened a new studio, but I think they have other ones that were in the works. Right. So maybe showcasing a brand new ABK game that nobody's ever heard of. Right. And the other thing that would be kind of cool is maybe, maybe the Game Pass changes is something they'll do ahead of time. But if they do like Family Plan or something like that, that would be really cool. Or they acquire something, and maybe it's a small enough thing that they don't have to go through a regulatory process for it, right? But they acquire something and show that there, right? Those would be kind of like the crazy things to see. But look, we're already gonna think like the gear stuff is kind of baked now. I think we kind of think that's gonna happen, right? So I'm kind of expecting that to kind of be there. But if they could do like all those games, like you got Forza, Gears, Halo, COD, right? You get all these like coming out, and it would be crazy. What a lineup! I don't know if they do the hardware thing. I'm not sure if they're going to do stuff here or not. That
might
would be
not
the
have
other,
time.
But yeah, that's the thing. They have so much to show. So much to show. It's really getting crazy how many games there are. Certainly updates on the ones we expect, right? Indie, all that stuff. Obviously, we're looking for release dates, right? That's kind of it. I think it's like if I get a new ABK thing that I hadn't heard about before, if we get Persona 6 and that COD, I think if they need to take advantage of COD, this is the year. Like Sony has just gotten out of the way, and Nintendo is basically out of the way. You need to take advantage. Like this is your year. It's got
this is your boot on the neck. This is your boot on the neck moment. You got to seize
all
it.
over it, right?
Yeah.
It's like bringing those. If it's in the next gen only or a current gen only COD, it's going to be the big stimulus to go buy a console. And if it's bundled on Xbox, you get that Series S, $200 with Game Pass, and it's like you were saying, it shows all the CODs on the box. Any COD you want to play plus the current one, right? What a marketing like awesomeness that would be. And if they do it properly, that's what I'm looking for. Take advantage of COD. Like totally take advantage of COD. This is your opportunity to do it. If you want to change mind share, you want to bring people over to your console, this is the time to do it, right? That's what I'm looking for. So I don't know if that's a surprise though, but I think that's like I need to see that COD. You have to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But what about you, Pong? What are you hoping to see? What do you think might be there? Any crazy speculation or anything like that you got? Go for it, man.
Yeah, man. This is gonna be the biggest show they've ever had. Hands down. This is gonna be the biggest show. I've been saying this for a long time now. All the old chains associated with the old way of doing things are off of Xbox. They are free of everything. They aren't traditional in any way, shape, or form anymore. Okay, so they can do whatever the hell they want. Now, does that mean they will? I don't know, but my personal feeling is they are going to go massive this year. They are going to lean heavily into some of the biggest titles that they've got coming, the ones that we do know and the ones that have been speculating on. And I think they're going to have some surprises in there as well. This is going to be, to Hargey's point, the only thing I would disagree with Hargey is I don't think Forza Horizon is. I think they got to give that time off.
You think it's like too much saturation, or
yeah,
it's a lot.
I do.
It is a 3-year thing, right? It's usually a 3-year cycle. And we're in third,
it normally is, but I'd love to see them go back to the table with it, and I'd love to see them take some time out. I want Japan as much as anybody does, right?
I was just gonna say that.
I do. I do. I just want it done right, and I want them to bring something fresh to the table the next time they have a new Forza Horizon. Forza Horizon 5 is still growing. They're still, again, doing what they always do, which is support the title. But that's the only one. But who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll continue the tradition, and they will just roll it out, which would be fantastic. Again, if it's Japan, I'll go nuts, okay? It'll be cool. But I think when you look at this, Doom is almost for sure going to be there. I believe that for a long time. I've said forever, id's been working way too long, too silent. They either had Doom or they got Quake reboot. Either one of those. Obviously, Tom Warren this week teasing Doom. I trust Tom. He wouldn't say that the way he did unless he's heard. So, and plus we had the leaks showing Doom Year Zero. I think that they are also working on a Quake reboot in the background, which will be a year from now, next year. I think they'll come out with a Quake reboot, or maybe they have it at QuakeCon this year. But I think that definitely we get Doom. Then you got Gears 6 teaser, along with what I do believe is going to be the Phoenix Collection. When the Phoenix Collection drops, that's the question. The back half of this year is already massively loaded. Do you drop that in there? Yes, you could, of course, to start the hype train. Do you save that for a January, February launch? January has now become a month you can launch games in, right? There really is not a month or a bad time anymore in the gaming industry. So that would be fantastic out the gate to start the new year, right? Either way, it doesn't matter to me. You've already got that Gear 6. If they end the show with Gear 6 and the Phoenix Collection and then roll into the Call of Duty Direct, listen, you can't ask for much more. Obviously, updates to Avowed, updates to Indiana Jones, release dates, Age of Mythology Retold, which is, again, everybody can poo-poo it. It's going to be massive, especially on the PC side, but it's coming on console. Phil's talked multiple times how many people are playing RTSs on console now, especially Age of Empires 4. Age of Mythology is going to be... It could even draw more people in just because of the style it is, right? With the mythology. So it's
beautiful.
Yep. Flight Simulator obviously is going to be there. We're going to get a look at the Diablo expansion. We're obviously probably going to get a look at Shattered Space, potentially there as well. Those are your knowns, right? Your unknowns.
World of Warcraft will probably be there too, right?
World of Warcraft with the new stuff. Absolutely. They need to, again, establish that they own Blizzard. World of Warcraft is now an Xbox property, okay? Even if it's not on console, it's still an Xbox property. Yes, Overwatch, exactly. Right. All that stuff. Blizzard will have its own section for sure. ZeniMax Online. It's time. Whatever they've been working on for nearly 5 years now, it is time. We have heard stuff in the background. We have heard public smoke. We've heard a lot of different things. The only question is whether or not it's licensed IP, right? I'm on the side that it is a licensed IP. I'm on the side that again, this is my hopes and dreams that it is Star Wars, that it is going to be a new Star Wars MMO. Like, that will boggle the mind, right? And to have that on stage announced, my God, it would be so massive. Like, that would be gigantic.
No matter what it is, it's still going to be something, right? It's supposed to be licensed, right? So
that's the question. Whether or not it's licensed is the question, because they were working on 2 projects at least. One of them is not licensed new IP, and one of them was leaning that it's licensed Marvel or Star Wars. So but ZeniMax, it's time. It is time. Then you have the contraband. You've got the contrabands out there that got to show at some point too, right? You got the Perfect Darks. Is Perfect Dark ready to show? I think it's ready to show. Okay, they can show a clip. They need to update us on that stuff as well. even if it's further out. They still need to show it. I don't think we see Fable in this one. I think they showed Fable enough. I think they hold off.
I think you might be right.
Fable will be next year. But I definitely think. But I think that the show is not going to center on just what's coming shortly. I think they're going to do some hopes and dreams here. I think they are. Again, Gear 6 I see as a potential launch title for the new hardware in 2026. If they're going to do it, I see that. I think we get lots of hopes and dreams here. The Eastern side of things that they have expanded upon every single year. Every year we've gotten a bigger and bigger moment where they go through normally towards the middle of the show and they have Eastern devs show up, right? And recently it's been a lot of Atlas, a lot of Sega.
Yes.
Square Enix shows up here. This is my surprise this year. Square Enix shows up. All the directives now, the new CEO coming out saying, we're doing this. The handshake with Phil last year at Las Vegas announcing Final Fantasy 14 finally coming. Square shows up that, yes, we got the surprise from Square with Visions of Mana during the direct, but I think they got more surprises.
Is that going to be announced Game Pass?
Yeah,
that's what I'm leaning towards too.
Either they're going to announce that or they're going to show us one of the other titles that they've got ready, or a Final Fantasy 16 announcement here for Xbox, something to establish that Square
Enix
and
if they
is
do
real.
that and say it's going to Game Pass PC and console,
right?
Yo,
yes,
holy shit, the tears,
absolutely. And then I said my other one before is they lost out on Stellar Blade. Okay, right? That was originally announced for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. PlayStation did what they do. Stellar Blade has been extremely popular for PlayStation. Now, numbers wise, I'm not here to argue. It's been a good title for PlayStation. Phil knows this better than anybody. He's been working Japan. He's been working the East all the time. He's got to have those titles. I think there's potential Black Myth Wukong shows up at the showcase.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
So awesome.
That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah, Black Myth Wukong shows up here to establish again that Xbox isn't losing this one. This is the big Eastern title that a lot of people, they just launched a new trailer yesterday. Today was it? Or something like that. I don't know. It was today or early morning, whatever it was. But I think they show up on stage with a new trailer showing it off to establish that Xbox has got that. Pearl Abyss, again, with Crimson Desert. Great relationship there.
Good one, dude.
Another good one. It's time. We haven't seen that game in about two and a half years.
Some of these are going to be for the Tokyo Game Show, right? I want to keep that in mind. It's also Gamescom. They're going to start new things out, right?
Yeah, Crimson Desert's going to have a playable demo at Gamescom. They've already announced that, right? I think you could have a short showing here. But again, we'll see. I just think they're expanding the Eastern stuff out. Atlas will obviously be here. If they show up with Persona 6, that would be massive, Hargeet. That would be huge. We already know that we got ReFantazio coming later this year as well. So that is going to be all of that. Third parties are going to show up. Ubisoft will be here, I believe, with Splinter Cell. Like they did with Star Wars Outlaws last year. They showed a quick something on the Xbox showcase and then went to their Ubisoft Forward the next day and showed us gameplay, right? I think we get the tease for Splinter Cell, the remake, here on stage. Finally, that's something that everybody's been calling for. And then Ubisoft Forward, they show off gameplay for the new Splinter Cell. It'll be a next year title, but I think that they're at the showcase as well. They got a great relationship with Xbox, solidified by the contract, Xbox giving them the cloud rights to publish the cloud games. That was massive deal, bigger than people think. Ubisoft is all on board with Xbox at this point. So that's what I think. Personally, some of my stuff that's out there, I think that we could have a surprise from my biggest one here, and I think it's time, because they're going to have to build a studio. I think that potentially they had already started building a studio, but I think it's time to ramp up. And there's a lot of talent that just got let go recently that will fill this. Is that they do tease StarCraft coming back here at the showcase. This is going to be, again, people who aren't RTS fans or don't understand.
They just got China back on with Blizzard
they don't,
and Tencent.
And in Korea, they still hold tournaments, massive tournaments for StarCraft. It's still played over there. This is a worldwide phenomenon. People don't know, unless you were around when StarCraft was big, how big this is. StarCraft announcement here, coming back, start the rebuild of the studio. Again, we've had a lot of RTS studios trimmed down, close recently. There's a lot of talent out there. Do it. Do it here. Again, just think about the lineup like Hargeet was talking about that we're saying here. And again, is everything going to show up? Probably not. But I do think this is going to be the biggest one. But just think, if you
But over the next several years, a lot of this stuff is happening, right?
It is happening. It's real. They have so much stuff.
It's not real.
We're not even talking about IO Project Dragon. We're not even talking about all this other stuff. Yeah, I know. They're closing up shop, right? They're closing up shop. They're going to sell it all off. It's over with.
We're in a rut.
We're in a gaming rut as well. It is terrible time to be a gamer right now. This is all going to happen, but just think, I mean, you lean into Gears, you lean into Doom, you lean into a StarCraft, you lean into a Perfect Dark, you lean into World of Warcraft being there now, you lean into obviously Call of Duty with a massive direct afterwards, now your title coming to Game Pass. You're talking about some of the biggest titles in the world, some of the biggest names in the world, all being on one stage at the same time. And again, the shackles are off Xbox. They have nothing to lose. They're forging their own path. None of us know for sure what the final evolution of Xbox is going to look like at the end of the day, but what they are doing is they're doubling down on hardware. They have tripled down on Game Pass. So guess what? They just come and back the dump truck up and dump the whole pile on us and say, make your choice. But everything you see here is coming to Game Pass one way or another, whether it's on your console or whether it's on your PC or whether it's on your tablet or whether it's on your TV. If you got access to Game Pass, you got access to this library right here. And I think they can make their statement and then just move forward with everything that they got planned, headed towards 2026 with potentially a new hardware launch. And, oh, by the way, a handheld in between there somewhere. Oh, by the way, a new, discless version of the Series X. And, oh, by the way, a new Elite 3 controller. They control their destiny right now. Nobody else does. They're breaking away from all of what we knew as the normal video game industry and creating their own spot now. I'm excited, man, if you can't tell.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Pong, can you read that message on the screen?
Let me see. Sorry, sir. Let me, which one? Pong putting together like a 4-hour show. LOL. Yes. Again.
Yes.
Right. Obviously, if you were talking about like tons of gameplay, like a lot of gameplay, right? Yes, but they can do sizzle reels for a lot of this stuff. There will be a lot of stuff where it's just, again, the pacing last year, we were 40. Last year was an hour and a half show, 90-minute show, right? Followed by the direct for Starfield. So 45 minutes in, about 45 minutes in when we were co-streaming it, we literally almost at one time were like, yo, we're only 40 minutes in and we're exhausted. Like we were like, can we get a break? Can we get an ESO update right now, please? Can we have one of those? That's how much there was. And I think they're going to continue to do, again, I'll say it right now because I do it every time. Tina Amini, best hire Xbox has ever done. She is fully in control of this show. I can't wait until see what she's bringing. I know she's going to keep the pacing from last year because she knows how good that was. Yeah. This could be even, and I am saying this will be the biggest show. I am expecting a 2+ hour show on this one without the Call of Duty Direct.
So, wow, that's awesome. And two things. One, real quick. Spartan 661. Read that retro real quick if you don't mind.
We need a Pong rant. Choo choo, motherfuckers.
Mav took up all the ranting tonight, but choo choo, motherfuckers. Choo choo.
But I haven't got to talk about the showcase yet. Just wait.
One thing I wanted to say that I don't know if y'all caught this. Paris Lilly was on some other podcast the other night and just jumped on for a few minutes. But he did say that he actually has some official stuff going on now with this showcase. And he said, and it does not, he repeated,
it's not Microsoft
does
Slim?
not have anything to do with Flight Simulator.
Okay.
And he's very excited that he has this part at the show. That's all he said. It's vague as hell, but we know Paris and
we said that too, Dave, that when he first kind of alluded to that, like it didn't seem like, why would he talk about it this way? It didn't seem like it was Flight Sim possibly. So there you go. He just confirmed it. So congrats to Paris on that, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think the total number of games last year were 27, right, Mav?
27. And that's the lowest in years.
Right. The one prior was 33, right? Because we averaged it out to be 30. I think this year we get 40 games.
We're right there with you, Pong. That's what I was saying too. I think
probably
it's 40
will be
plus.
There's so much to go over.
There's too much.
Right? But here's the thing. So some of these we probably want to see move to like the Game Awards, because I want, like, just me personally as a consumer of it, I want
course.
every show to be an Xbox show.
Loaded.
Yeah.
Like, just exactly, right? Summer Game Fest, there better be some announcements,
Like,
right?
yep.
There better be some
Like,
things that happen.
They said they're going to be there, so
Doom would be a
But-
good one for a Game Awards.
Yeah.
It could be, right?
Well-
Perfect Dark, by the way, was announced there, right?
I think the
Awards.
Keeleys are going to be called
be a
the
thing.
Xbox Awards this year, right? Since no other company has.
I hope it is, because the last one, it was, I don't even care. Like the awards,
Stars.
it was an Xbox showcase. That was
Yes.
an Xbox showcase, right?
Yeah.
And then we had the Dev Direct, right? And I want this to keep rolling. And the industry just can't ignore it anymore.
No,
They can keep trying to make everything negative all they want, but like every showcase is going to be Xbox stuff, right?
And they
should
have
be
enough,
partner
Hardeep.
and like
Even
have
if they go
Nintendo.
all out, they have enough.
Nintendo had freaking Grounded, and like it was Xbox. I want them to do that everywhere.
Yep.
Sony showcase, yeah, it's Xbox stuff. Everything, like every showcase, it's Xbox stuff. Take it.
All right, hold on to your hats, boys and girls. Let's hear from Mav.
Let's
Hi,
go, Mav.
All right. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be that good of a show, actually.
Just where they announce it is closing down.
I mean, what do they really have? It's Xbox.
We've sold everything to Sony, Nintendo. Have a good night, folks. We're out.
I was just going to show Call of Duty and call it a day.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. No, for real though. Like, I'm in this like mood where I feel like a lot of people keep saying this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, people aren't really trust Xbox anymore, so there's really not really a lot of excitement about the showcase. You know, and I'm like, I'm looking at everything that is the potential for this year for the showcase, and my like inner child is like screaming to see new games and new game trailers, and I think it's going to be potentially the best like showing we've seen from any platform holder at any showcase ever before, because the shackles are off, right? They have acquired Activision Blizzard now. Remember, they canceled BlizzCon this year.
Yes.
They are planning on showing probably some stuff from Blizzard here, as well as having the whole Call of Duty separate show that's separate from the main showcase. There's been rumblings about this being a longer show to begin with as well, not including the big Call of Duty show at the end. So my mind's going into all these places. And if you really think about the timing here, we are in this generation, about what all they have the potential to show, you could go down a list of like tons of games and be like, yeah, that makes sense to show this year. That makes sense to show this year.
Exactly.
That makes sense to show this year. So for all of these games, I'm looking at it thinking like, what's going to be here, man? And I think it's going to be so much. I think this is the year that Xbox goes out, they lay their dick on the table, and we realize that they have elephantitis, right? This is
Snap that meat on the table.
That year. It is going to be insane. I mean, we could legitimately see Perfect Dark, right? We could legitimately see like something like the Oblivion remake, right? Finally show up. Oh, speaking of that, like, what if when Todd comes out there and talks about Shattered Space, he has a little segment like he did in the past and other things where he actually starts to give us a little bit of information on Elder Scrolls 6. It would be about the time when he would start to do that. If you compare it to the past, I'm not saying we get a huge like trailer or anything like that,
Right.
but he wants people to remember that this game exists. What if they come out there and they say, hey, also in the Todd, I'll say this is a Todd segment, right? Because I think we get some kind of Todd segment. We are forming a team to start working on the next Fallout, right? Even just those words right then will create excitement.
That's all you need.
It will create excitement. I think we finally see Contraband. I think we finally see Gear 6. But when they reveal Gear 6, they're going to do it in a massive way. They're going to come out there and first reveal they're first going to reveal Gear 6, and then they're going to say, but wait, if you can't wait for Gear 6, we got
Gears
more.
Yep.
Here's the Gears collection with the remade Mad World trailer that's going to send all of us fanboys crying into tears, right? And it's going to happen. we finally maybe see Everwild and realize what Rare's been up to in that weird barn that they showed us a little bit ago, right?
No, they got solar panels. That's what we'll see.
The barn.
Yeah.
The barn. That's right.
Well, like this
So
is our
Matt,
barn.
you think they actually might have an Elder Scrolls trailer?
I
They
think
might be due for one.
it's possible.
I don't know.
I wouldn't put it out of the
Feel
realm
like
of
a teaser.
possibility.
Yeah.
They've already
Yeah.
done the teaser. It's been a couple years, right? So like they
It's been a
could
lot
have
of years.
something.
2018, 19? When was that teaser? It was a
Yeah.
while ago, wasn't it?
If Elder Scrolls 6 is within the first year of the next generation console, say it's 26, 27,
Which
it
means
could
this
be
would be the year
time
they would do a
to
teaser.
potentially see something else from it, even just a little nugget.
God.
And if we see that, the place will go fucking crazy. And guess what? It's not out of the realm of possibility. We could actually see this happen. It's absolutely possible. We could, you know what else we could see? We could actually finally see them announce that they are working on a new Killer Instinct again. Because guess who's back on board is Iron Galaxy. They said they're continuing to support. They actually have done more updates. So they're still working on this franchise right now. And hey, why not? They haven't been doing anything damn thing else since their other game bombed. So why not have them work on Killer Instinct? What if that actually happens? I'm going into the realm of possibilities here. And this is the crazy thing is, right? All this stuff that I'm saying here, none of this even has to happen. Because if all they do is they come out there and they show their lineup for the second half of the year, and then maybe a couple teasers for what's in the first half of next year, that's already way bigger of a show than anybody else in the industry could even possibly fathom to pull off. Because they have all these games coming out soon. The games that exist, the games that are actually releasing, the games that are in Game Pass day and date, first party titles. I think we also finally see State of Decay 3 again.
Yeah.
Last year we saw Fable and we
Need it.
saw Forza Motorsport, right? So this is the year we see Perfect Dark again and we see State of
Yep.
Decay 3, right? There's been reports that State of Decay 3 is looking mighty fine in the background right now, as well as other reports that were contradictory to Jeff Grubbs originally that Perfect Dark is actually looking mighty fine right now as well and ready to show. If you want to say, oh, they're not going to show Perfect Dark, all you got to do is look at their interview last year when they pretty much said they're going to be ready to show Perfect Dark soon, right? Yeah. It's time. It's time for a lot of this stuff to happen. I do think Forza shows up in some form or fashion, but I don't think it's Horizon.
Okay.
I think they come out there and they talk about a big revamp for motorsport and talk about like, hey, I know, like, here's all the massive changes we're going to be doing to motorsport with like some kind of big expansion. Yeah. Like, and I think they do that. We're going to see the Diablo. I think we're going to see the Diablo 4 expansion, right? We're going to see obviously the Shattered Space and that Todd segment thing. I think we're going to see, fuck, man, there's just so much. I think we're going to see finally, we have the potential now because details are starting to leak about Kojima's thing.
Yeah.
OD.
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
And then you could have this whole like Japanese development segment, like you're talking about Pong. You have Square show up. I think we see a Square Enix game announced at the showcase.
Yes.
A Square Enix game show up at the you think we're fucking crazy, right? No, we're not crazy
Kingdom
here
Hearts
because
4.
after the Atlas partnership, what did they do? Atlas showed up at last year's showcase and announced a brand new game. Capcom put a brand new game into Game Pass. Second time, Exo Primal plus also the one that they announced to Gami Path of the Goddess is coming to Game Pass day one. I think Square with this new relationship, this new direction, the president of Square be like, okay, yeah, let's do this. And is it possible instead of taking the exclusivity money from Sony, they decide to take the Game Pass money from Xbox, which does not restrict you to keep games off of other platforms?
Yes.
If they want a little bit of that bank or easy insurance money up front, they can still get that with Xbox, but not have to limit the sales and the growth of their franchises. Instead, they can actually propel and actually create more people playing their games. I think this is an idea that they've had. It's a vision that they've realized they have awakened as their new business model suggests. But I'm going to go out there and say also these partnerships from these other big publishers are going to start to show up as well, right? EA has always been a big partner of Xbox's. Could we actually see Dragon Age, which people say might be ready to actually show up at the Xbox showcase? It's absolutely possible. What if we see Splinter Cell, like you said, Pong? This is
Yes.
There's so much.
I think it's time.
There's so many damn possibilities. Yeah.
The reboot, remake, whatever it is, was announced like 3 years ago in a blog post.
So the only problem is how much money does Xbox actually have for these third-party things? Because, dude, Splinter Cell's been associated with Xbox.
Well, you got to think
that's like
too.
a perfect Game Pass game.
Yes. It's not just that, but where is Ubisoft Plus? It's on PC and Xbox.
Right.
Yep.
Right. So their partnership is
that,
strong.
By the way, because we're hearing there's some changes to Game Pass. If that's one of the things they do, if they bring Ubisoft Plus, oh my god.
Even if they raise it like $25, but they include
if
Ubisoft
they have a tier
Plus,
that says, "Yo, you get Ultimate Edition, you get everything."
Yes, yeah, that's what I said. I said 28 Ultimate across the board for everything.
Oh my god!
Star Wars Outlaws could show up there again because it's coming out not too long after, so it's going to be at the Ubisoft show. They could show Assassin's Creed there, and you can end up also if they do announce the Splinter Cell at the Ubisoft show, you could see it at the Xbox show.
Yep,
right,
just like they did with Outlaws last year.
Exactly, and it also has that brand association with Xbox.
Yep.
Right, you're bringing it home, right?
Yep.
Are any of you going to the showcase, or are you guys all watching remote?
Struck out, man.
Nope.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get off work. I was actually planning on going because I had the money to do it this year, but couldn't do it. Hey, Hargeet, so if one night you want to, you could definitely give us a call and I'll record a little update from you, and then we'll play it on the show that night since you'll be traveling, I'm sure, coming back, because it'll be the same night we're having a show.
Sunday night is because it's when you viewers. Sunday night is the whatchamacallit, the Jeff Grubb. What do they call it? The giant bomb.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to do it live. I mean, you could do like a little, just a quick call in. I could record it, and we could throw it up here if you wanted to. You don't have to. Just a man on the scenes kind of thing if you wanted to. But just kind of throw that in. And I want to add this since Mav said that about what he just said a second ago about Microsoft coming in the room.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah.
Pretty much what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen, man.
What a movie.
Gonna happen. What about the ZeniMax? If there's one game that hasn't been announced yet that I have a strong feeling will show up, is going to be the ZeniMax Online game.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to be surprised about what it is. I think it's going to be something big and very exciting. Remember when they just did these layoffs and stuff? They talked about putting more resources into that studio.
Yep.
Well, Matt Booty mentioned ZeniMax Online multiple times during the town hall.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see that, and I think people are going to be surprised about if we do see State of Decay 3, what it looks like and what kind of game it is as well. And also Perfect Dark. I think people are going to be surprised when they see Perfect Dark. These games are going to, when they're shown, they're going to draw a lot of attention. I think from all the casuals, all the people will be like, "Wow, what is that?" Remember when Perfect Dark was revealed at the Game Awards a few years back? That stole the show. That's all anybody talked about after the Game Awards was Perfect Dark being announced, and we haven't seen it since. It's been like 4 years. So when they show it again, it's going to be a big deal. But the issue for Xbox is the only thing they have is they have so many big, exciting things that they're all going to overshadow each other. But as a culmination, when you make it all about Game Pass and really figure that marketing out, and especially because Call of Duty is going to be really paid attention to, when at the end of the show you say Call of Duty is coming to Game Pass Day 1, and also every other one of these games you saw at this show is coming to Game Pass Day 1, I think because of the extra attention that Call of Duty will bring, it's going to hit people across the side of the face with that big ass elephantitis stick. It's going to be like, what the hell happened? Right? Like, how did we miss all this that was been going on behind the scenes for so damn long? And I gotta sign up now. Where do I sign up? Go up on the price. I'm okay. I don't care. Just take my money. People are going to be really
it's just a la carte games, right? Somebody's got to like some of those games, right? I mean,
exactly, dude.
So you got to have some enthusiasm for it. But what are the other side offering you? Do they have anything?
That's what I'm saying.
Concord.
If any PlayStation
2025
guys are watching this shit, like how are you gonna ignore like what Pong said earlier that he thinks there's gonna be 40 games, and I do too. I think there's gonna be 40 plus games at this thing because there's just too much stuff, and we've heard rumors behind the scenes that there's so much stuff that they're having trouble concising the entire showdown. So it's like. That's a good problem to have. That's a good problem to have if you're an Xbox gamer. Anonymous boss with the $5 says, Hiroki said, I'm the CEO. You're a CEO. We're all CEOs here at SIE. Hiroki, I'm still surprised we are still in business. Baby steps, got generation. There you go.
Oh, wait, that's their big game. I'm sorry. I forgot. Yes, baby steps. That's
Yeah. That's what they lead the shows off with.
Baby steps, the remaster's already coming.
What you were saying earlier, though, like Hargeet, like director's cut, baby steps director's cut. With Happy. Like this is that time, like Hargeet, like you were saying, like this is the time. Like there's really no excuse not to come out there and just lay it all out there. Like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah,
right?
nothing to lose.
Why would you not? When you have all of this, why would you not go out there and make the big play now? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Go out there and make the big play. You have all of this. You have all of these games that have been in development for years. You have all of these studios that you've been growing and working on for years. You have it all. We know, as people that have been paying attention, exist, right? For the people that have used Q-tips, we all understand that this stuff exists because we've been listening, right? But for all these other people that just cannot fathom that Xbox actually has stuff that has been in the works, that things are still good and things are okay and games are releasing, just put it all out there so they cannot have anything to say. Like, why not?
World's biggest publishers, if not the world's biggest publisher, recognized.
I think Tencent's still a little bit bigger right now, but
little bit bigger, but still, just in terms of content,
but
though.
As far as like actual games instead of just partial
games
investments, like they're massive, dude. Like they're so massive, and now we're finding out that even Activision is bigger than we thought they were.
Mm-hmm. And for all the people that want to say too, well, yeah, but now we got all the questions of what's going to PS5. That's all. I don't care.
I don't care. I don't give
I'm playing them in Game Pass
on a
day and date.
I'm
period,
bro.
Point
Stop
blank.
caring about that. And get Game Pass.
Imagine they reveal all this shit, right? Like 50 games. We're like, oh my god, the games, and they announce a handheld at the end too, just to go.
Awesome. Oh Jesus, man!
Like it would just be such a like crazy time, dude. I'm so curious what's gonna happen here.
Look, the marketing is the big deal, no matter what you do. So even if the games were on other platforms, it doesn't matter. People just assume that, hey, you marketed it, it must be your game.
Exactly.
And in a lot of cases, it is their game, even if it's on a platform.
Right.
So
exactly.
They're just going to go with the game. And the biggest thing they have is Call of Duty. It's such a massive like market mover. They need to take advantage of that. But it could very well change it. They could sell a lot of consoles if they market Call of Duty correctly. And it doesn't matter that it's everywhere. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter. It's who markets it.
And you're right, Arky. Yes. Even the association, I've seen so many idiots out there be like, think they have to subscribe to Game Pass to play Call of Duty.
Nope.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah, I've seen so much of that. But you know what?
Shit. That they say, coming day one to Game Pass. I mean, every single one that is actually, I mean, clearly coming day one to Game Pass. Coming day one. I want to hear that 50 fucking times in this show, man. Also,
you're going to
Mr. Boomstick XL, to Caitlin, and to Epic Treasure, and so many more that have jumped in to chat with us tonight. Thank you all so much. And of course, Fark you, buddy. Fark you. Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt the rant. And also, there's a message up there too. If we can read that, member chat.
Yeah, shout out to you, J Mac, member for 10 months. Shout out to the Gamers Council podcast. Salute, guys. Salute to you, brother.
What an amazing panel
Appreciate you,
tonight.
man.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Let's keep the hype train going.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, Dave, you want to put in your 2 cents on what you think, or at least what you're excited to see at the showcase? Everything, all of it.
Yeah, I want it all. I want them to bring. But
I want it all, and I want it now.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, I think there's going to be some things that they're going to hold for some other events they have throughout the year. They have the Tokyo Game Show. Clearly, it's needing to make a big presence there. And they also need to, at the Tokyo Game Show, they really need to emphasize Game Pass. I don't know if you guys have seen any of the Japanese marketing in those stores, like some of the big entertainment stores there and stuff where they go into. I'll have to send it to you next time. I don't have it queued up, or I would pull it up. But they have like there's stores like a Best Buy here, but whatever's that equivalent in Japan. They have like where you go in and they have special sections set up that's like Game Pass has the cards where they can get it for their Xbox or the PC or whatever, and then it has every single title that's available on Game Pass on a disc form where they can pick it out and look at it and say, oh, by the way, these are all the games that are actually included in Game Pass and for the set price. So they can physically look at it and go, oh, I should get this, and just get Game Pass, download and play and good to go. So that's, to me, that's really smart advertising that they're doing in Japan. Dude.
Yeah.
But they definitely, they need to talk about, obviously, Game Pass. Do we think there's some big changes? There's a possibility. There's some things that they could do, might do, things they might be able to do, but they definitely need to, at this juncture, release the fucking family plan. That needs to be a thing.
Dave, we've been telling that forever, bro. Like, what's going on with that? Yeah,
they need to have it out there. They need to make that happen. I mean, they've already got a lot of other things and stuff in the works, but that's cool. And they need to really emphasize and beat the shit out of Game Pass. And I hope that they do have some kind, even if it's, you know, the older box, the S or whatever. Like I said, bundle pack, new low price for the holidays, boom, or whenever, or at the show. You know, now $249, get a brand new system, 3 months of Game Pass, play Call of Duty, all your games coming out. Those kind of things. Those are things that I think they really need to do to push it over the edge, get it out there. And is there some things that may come to other platforms? Fine, but to me, it doesn't matter. They're going to be the dominant force in gaming with what they're doing now, and no matter what, they're not done. I'm telling you guys, they're not done. There's going to be some more things acquiring and some announcements. Feeling that there's going to be some things that they may not announce it yet, but by the end of the year and beginning of next year's fiscal year, we're going to hear some more acquiring and some more things that have maybe happened and gone out. I just have that feeling that we are, you know, and the one thing that always gets me, and I know this is out of left field, but people will say, you know, like, well, they have to make up for all the money they spent on ABK, and they got a Father Studios. Dude, they had that as cash on hand. Yeah. That's an investment purchase, not something they have to pay back. They want to make return on investment over time.
Yeah.
If you buy a house, do you have to pay it off the next day?
Exactly.
I don't. Is that how it works? I mean, I don't understand.
And they don't get a cosigner and have to borrow from other people, do they, Sony?
On the business side of things, cash is a bad idea right now because it keeps losing value.
Yeah.
So you're much better off having an asset of value that can increase in value, right? And then you keep investing in it so that it does increase in value. So you are better off just buying something, and that asset will just increase in value instead, right? And on top of that, it will just generate revenue for you. So that's also just a bonus on top of that, right?
No, Hargeet, they got to make the $70 billion back the next day.
In 2 days.
No, it's still worth $70 billion. You can sell
you don't
it.
think Microsoft wants them to get that $70 billion back right away? That's I hear that so much. I do have
not how business works.
Because Hargeet's here, I have a little bit of speculation that I want to get your take on, if that's okay.
Go for it, man.
So it's something I've been kicking around because Dave's bringing up the family plan, right? And something I've been thinking about, and maybe I'm off the rails on this or whatever, but I was thinking about if Xbox has a handheld, okay, how it would work with the current system that they have of My Home Xbox, right? Because if you would have to make the handheld your home Xbox in order to really be able to use it out in the wild and not have to worry about internet being problems on trains and planes and all those kind of situations, right? So I don't think a lot of people want to have a handheld as their home system, their home system. So I would think that whole system in itself, if you have a handheld, would have to change. But the basis of what we've seen, the family plan already, is built around that whole concept, right? Of the home Xbox and your family members and all that kind of stuff. So if I think potentially reason we haven't seen the family plan and it actually went into full adoption is when they decided they're going full force into the handheld they realize, well, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to rework the whole thing anyway. And that may be why we haven't seen the family plan yet.
Or the family plan could be because they've had to clear out some of their older things that have gotten out of Game Pass under the old agreements that they were just
like licensing issues.
Yeah. But once those are
it's
out and come back in, I mean, because there's a few things that have left, like Grand Theft Auto at one time was gone, and then they brought it back. Yep. But when they brought it back, maybe they now have the other things in place so that when they do turn the switch on family plan, that it's good to go. Sorry, Eric, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. It's last I heard it's the the people who are putting games in Game Pass started asking questions like, wait a minute, how many people are now accessing my game? We had a contract based on a certain set of values here that may not work out for us. So that was what was causing the headache. So I don't know if that's been resolved or not. That contractual headaches are just that's legalese, right? And that becomes just lawyers talking to each other. And usually, unfortunately, just takes time, right? So I don't know how long that takes and whether they're kind of done with that. When was that test? When did they finish that?
Like a year and a half ago. They started it. I don't remember.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Quite a bit of time to get through the legalese with all these people, right? So hopefully they now have the ability.
And Phil did say it was still coming when
so I wouldn't be surprised if they're still trying to work it, right? But there might be another tier. That's a possibility as well. But yeah, if they can do the family plan, I think it's a good idea. And to your point on the portable, basically if you have no internet, you have to make your home console, right? That's kind of how that works. Right? That way the license gets tied to it.
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to have to make my handheld as an Xbox gamer, my home Xbox. You know,
I never even thought of that, Mav. That you bring up a really good point. I'm not sure how
the way we do operate here, like I share between consoles, you know, and stuff already, and like having a handheld that I use to take around everywhere, I have to be designated as that because if I don't, I lose internet. And you can't switch it, but like 4 times a year or something like that. I think so. I don't know. I think they got to rework that whole idea.
And this is why I want them to make the portable now, because these are the stupid challenges they need to figure out. Right. So
that's a good point.
Next gen, it'll be clean and already figured out. Right. But these growing pains are going to be something they have to work through. Right. So
how soon before we see a mobile Game Pass, Hardgeek? What do you think?
Years.
It'll be a few years, right? They're still working out the store thing, but I think it is coming.
That store thing's a problem. We all know the web version is bullshit. Yes. It's a stopgap. It's not even real. Sarah herself said when Apple came out with how they were allowing stores on the platform that it was complete bullshit. She said that months ago because she knows on the back end that Apple will do what they did to Samsung and other countries, and that they'll still get 27% instead of 30%. So they know, they're trying to avoid that 30% take, and Apple's finding ways around it to fuck you anyways. So
there was a backdoor to Game Pass Cloud on the Apple, because I played,
that was
Game
through
Pass
a web browser as well.
on my phone through the web browser,
that's
and it
not
worked.
the experience you want. That's because
what I'm saying,
nobody's going to do that.
Yeah. But that's the whole point. They want to test it, start it.
Yeah, but you're not going to get But the problem is, Dave, you're not going to get mass adoption that way at all.
Well, I get you.
It's too much work. It has to be a native app. That's the solution.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
And there's no guarantee that even when that happens, that it's going to be successful for Microsoft, because Samsung has it. It's very much like Epic having their own PC store, and they're nothing compared to Steam. Samsung has that now, and they don't make shit. They get clobbered because everyone's just used to using the iOS and the Google storefronts, right? Yep. So no one's touching the Samsung version of that. You know what I mean? So we have an example already of it not necessarily working, But what
those
Microsoft
two that
has
are the interesting ones,
is is exclusivity deals possibly. Microsoft's in a different situation because they can hold stuff over your head, like huge important games that are only accessed through this store. Then that will move the needle. That's gonna be fucking game that's gonna be played, I think, in the full future of mobile. But it's years away, in my opinion.
And you could also, and just not to disagree with you, but just to say that if it's included in the ultimate package as just a throwaway at another kind of like cloud thing, not everybody uses it, but it's there, and people might get their feet wet on it, start getting used to it, and especially if they know they have like the library of stuff that's available. All I can say, RHETRI, is that Candy Crush is going to move consoles.
As long as Candy Crush has achievements, then I'm in. That's one thing I would love to see, like some of this mobile shit to have achievements too, because that might cross some of these Xbox guys over to playing some mobile games as well. But I think it's a matter of time, right? We saw what's happening with the EU. I think it's going to happen. I just think it's going to take a little
they have
while
a little bit of regulatory fun to go through. Right?
Exactly.
I think what she was saying though is like first incarnation is going to be DLCs that are going to be available.
That's exactly what it's literally. It's no benefit to the gamer whatsoever. It's just so Microsoft makes more money. Sorry to say that, like that's just the truth. That it's just so they can get rid of that 30%. It's smart. I don't blame them for doing it, but nobody's going to fucking use that. I promise you.
Yeah,
nobody's going to use that.
Cool, but it's going to take a while for it to get to that level. The one that's interesting is, will iOS and Android swap? Will they say, hey, the Google Store can go to iOS and the iOS Store, go to Google? Because theoretically, there's nothing stopping that.
They should be doing that. They should be doing that, Hargy. Yeah.
And if you're any type of business, maybe Apple's too stupid to realize this, or Google's too stupid to realize this, but you should 100% go to the other platform. Why the hell not? Right? You're just going to make it much easier for the app developer to say, well, you can make an iOS app and it happens to work on Android too, right? That just makes life so much easier, right? So, if they both swap, that is just a huge win, right, for the app development community. Plus, you as an app user, you bought something on one of those stores, and now you can transfer to whichever one, and your library just comes with you. That's a huge gain, right? So, I don't know. These are just things. If it's the Satya world for Apple and Google, you would be doing that immediately. You'd be like, well, how am I getting my app store on there? Because I want my money, right? Because what the heck? Why do you care if somebody's buying an iPhone and they use the Google Store? That's just 30% going in your pocket. Who cares? Take the money, right? Like, it just makes much more sense. Equivalently on the other side, if you're Apple, like if Tim Cook is not locked to like the what was it, bomber model, right? Everything is on my platform or go away. Right. If you say, I just want money, I don't care. I'm going to put my stuff over there. Why the hell not? Right. Like there's just no reason not to do it. So I hope they're seeing that. If they're not, they're dumb. They're just being stupid. They should absolutely do it. Microsoft will get in there, sure. But like Google and Apple should be swapping immediately. They should be looking to get their stores on each other. That's a perfect business model to do. Like, why the hell not? So, but one thing, Dave, what I don't want to see, I do not want to see PlayStation at all at that showcase. I don't want to see the word PlayStation on anything.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think they'll do that. At least I hope not. I think they're smart. I would hope they're smart enough not to do that, Hargy.
Yeah,
they may say in consoles, or may say like other.
They shouldn't even do that. They should let PlayStation put out their
Exactly.
YouTube video saying "Coming to PlayStation" afterwards.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I'm okay with Steam. But the only logo should be PC, Xbox, and maybe Steam. And everybody else can F off.
throw a game phone.
Steam's like Switzerland, right? No one really. It's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
So funny. Or maybe Call of Duty coming to Nintendo.
I wouldn't say that.
The one thing
I won't say
to your
that.
agreement.
Because I want Call of Duty's announcement for Nintendo to be in the Nintendo show. Why?
There you go.
It's an Xbox show. But it makes it an Xbox show.
The Nintendo thing too with Call of Duty is why I don't know 100 like the speculation about current gen only Call of Duty this year, because if they put Call of Duty on Switch 2, it's pretty much almost like a PS4 and an Xbox One anyway.
That's
isn't it? Like
good point. Yes,
like
Mav.
at the same
Very good
time,
point.
like they're probably gonna be putting shit out on PS4 and Xbox One for like a few more years, maybe. Then if that's the case, I don't know.
It'd be better if they didn't. I don't know what to think about that.
It would be better if they didn't.
I agree.
They need to
for
move
like
those people.
For Game Pass. That's a very that brings up
once
what Pong said earlier.
GTA, Call of Duty, Madden 2K, and FIFA, or not FIFA, FC 24, whatever the hell it is now. Once those are all current gen only, that'll move a lot of consoles for sure.
Yeah, you got to pull off the Band-Aid eventually, right? And at 4 years, it's time. It's time. Like, take advantage of that for those people to come into Game Pass.
But you, Retri, do
water's
you have
fine.
anything out there that we haven't talked about? Do you think you'd like to see?
Honestly, for me, I love playing COD, so I'm super happy to shove that in as many people's faces as I possibly can. That told me I was wrong. I'm really curious to see like State of Decay 3. I just want to see what it is. Everwild would be nice, but I don't have my hopes up too high on that. Doom, I'm a big like id fan. That team, just everything they touched since like Doom 2016 has been gold to me. Eternal was just, I think it's super underrated. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And Avowed is probably, I know we've already seen Avowed, but I love Obsidian so much, and I just want to see that RPG. I like the way it looked. I'm perfectly fine with it. Probably my only thing that is maybe like out of left field is like a third party thing. I know Hasbro is getting big back into the gaming space. They're spending like $1 billion. They got multiple studios. A lot of people don't even know about this. But the Austin shop under Hasbro called Archetype, where the BioWare veteran and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic lead designer James Olin is working on the game that we saw not too long ago, the space game called Exodus. I would love to. I think that game is going to set a lot. I think it's going to set the world on fire. I really do. I hope it works out for Hasbro. But Exodus, I think you should watch that one. Kind of like Pearl Abyss's Crimson. I think that's going to be a big game. I would like to see a third party shake of the hands when it comes to Hasbro, because Hasbro is ready to play, man. They're ready to get back into the business. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to bring back Transformers. That we saw their tweets. So like we're into it. Like we're into the idea that like they are ready to play. So while we see all this like doom and gloom, we see other guys like Hasbro coming out of from the dead, right? Being revived into the gaming scene. So I'm excited to see what that could what could happen. But don't sleep on Exodus. And if you have not seen the trailer, please go watch the trailer for Exodus. I'm gonna be tooting that horn for a while. But yeah, that's what I get, Dave. I'm just happy. Maybe some South of Midnight too, which Pong mentioned. He think like next year that we'll see some games coming in possibly Q1. I'm 100% with Pong. I think one of those games is South of Midnight, possibly Clockwork Revolution.
I think is the one I want.
Hell yeah, baby. I'm looking forward to that. I think the whole thing of waiting for the second half of the year for Xbox to come out with games, I think it's done. I think it is done, and you're going to see that.
Do it. There's just too many games.
They can't.
They're
It's
going to have
too
to
much.
release them all throughout the year.
Yes.
This is too much now.
So that promise that they gave us years ago about the 4 games a quarter, it's starting now. It's
gonna
here.
Be more than that now.
It's going to be more than that.
How many we get in the second half of this year? Like
8
first party games?
Known.
A lot.
Yeah.
6, 8, something like that.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah.
What do you think about Indie? The rumors are it might come out in December.
I can see
That's
that.
fine. That's fine.
I'd be
December.
Yeah, I definitely.
Again,
I
I
don't
don't
like
think
it.
there's a bad month nowadays. I really don't anymore.
I think December is a bad month because it's past the Game Awards.
That's the only thing. But you're already gonna have Hellblade 2.
But you could have a
probably,
big ass trailer at the Game Awards for it too. If that's the case. Also,
But I mean, I want it to have the contention. I want it to be able to be up there.
No,
but like
that's
even
the
if it
point.
comes
Arcade's
out,
an option, right?
even if it comes out middle of November, which people say is the sweet spot, those games also get ignored at the Game Awards. Also,
That's true, because it's just so like old at that time. By the time the Game Awards come around,
well,
but
a lot of times they miss the deadline.
The votes are already in.
the
The
deadline
votes are
bullshit.
already in,
That's
and they
the
never
point.
change them.
Yeah.
I just think with a corporation, if you land it in December, as Microsoft, fuck the VGAs. I don't care about your Game of the Year contention. I care about sales. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think it's better for them to. Plus, there's too many games. Honestly, I think December's a really good month for that game. Personally, October you got Call of Duty. November we got Avowed, and when's Flight Sim? I don't know.
We
There's
don't
20
know
damn
if
games.
Flight Sim and Age of Mythology. We don't have dates for. They're going to be in there somewhere. And we got Avowed. We got Assassin's.
Aura is also.
Yeah, we got Aura in there as well. Yep.
Eating good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too much.
It's a good time to
He
be
really
gaming.
wants Indiana Jones to get awards, though.
I want it to be in look.
At least
Sony has
contention.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Sony has nothing.
Yeah.
So they can't take a spot.
Right.
Nintendo, what do they got? Nothing.
Yeah.
So
They're
this is their
re-releasing
year.
Paper Mario, so that'll probably be.
What
up
if
for awards.
Helldivers 2 gets nominated? It could get nominated. or something.
Okay,
So that
fine.
game of the year, maybe.
Fine.
Potentially.
Okay, that'd be
Best
the
ongoing
one they
game?
have, right?
Yeah.
This year they had the publisher that's putting out the most like crazy games is Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have the opportunity, and I want to take every opportunity. I want everything.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So I would rather they say move it out than try to put it in December or move it in, like bring it in November, right? When did God of War come out?
Ooh, like
September?
month wise.
That's like October.
Yeah, I know it was November,
October,
but
yeah.
I don't remember what
Yeah.
like month, but what day was it? Like 12?
It
or
was
something?
pretty. I think it was early to middle. Like
007, baby. Spider-Man 007.
Yeah, 007.
November 9th is ring around.
November 9th. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's probably like the
latest you could
Furthest
probably go.
that
Yeah.
you can go and still be
In
still
contention.
qualify for TGAs.
Yeah,
Hellblade 2
Um,
could be there for Game of the Year contender.
that's what I
And that's
think is
that's
their
why
game of the
I
year.
want to have
Dragon's
all these
Dogma?
games. Like if
You wanna,
if
like,
I
have,
was-
like, 5
Dragon's Dogma's
Xbox
kind of
games,
given, right?
yeah.
I think that one's going to be there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So was that?
I said 5 Xbox games for Game of the Year candidate. That'd be good. That'd be pretty cool.
Pretty crazy, right?
Yeah.
But look, they have the opportunity. They do. It's really just
Mhm.
a question of should they like put things in place so that they can hit it, right? Because not only then would you take over as far as like the Game Awards, as far as the announcements, but then you'd also have the awards to go with it, and
Yeah,
that shuts up the last narrative that we always get. You haven't won any awards. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
you
whatever.
know that
So-
it'll be moved again. Well, Nintendo didn't have any games this year, and neither did Sony. So
right. That's why you
you
won.
know what's
right.
gonna come.
Yeah, we can't win
whatever.
that narrative. Yeah,
Yeah, but once you win a couple, then you say
Yes.
the next year, let's
Yes.
say, you know,
That's
it's
true.
Mhm.
Perfect
Get
Dark's
some ammo.
turn and Fable's turn and whatever else, right? And you might have South of Midnight or Clockwork or like whatever they are, right? And
Yep.
like, okay, maybe Sony has a game or two. I don't know when Sony's going to have games. That's another question. But at least Nintendo should come like with a whole bunch of stuff, right? We know Nintendo's going to have their console 2025.
Mhm.
And they're
Yeah.
going to have a launch lineup like that's going to be crazy, I'm sure, right? So
Yeah.
they'll at least have one or two options there. that'll
GTA
be
6
Game
will win
Award.
everything.
You know
And
the
then-
Game of the Year.
And that's a fact. Right? GTA is probably going to be the big one. Though,
it's true.
Yes.
was it God of War that won? No, who won? Somebody won against Red Dead last time. Who was it?
Oh,
Did something
God.
beat Red Dead?
Yes.
The
Yeah, I
PlayStation
remember.
game?
I want to say it was God of War.
Was it really?
Red Dead
No
2.
way.
I
That's-
think
that's
I
that
want to
up.
say
That's
God
such a
of War.
horrible vote. Like Red Dead 2 is so good. But what
But yeah,
we could
it's
still
possible
see
something could
though,
beat it.
like just because of the way the games media is, we could see
Yeah, Spartan.
Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth for Game
Oh,
of the
for
Year
fuck's sake,
contention.
you're probably right.
Sea of
Matt's
Thieves,
probably
best
spot on. to
PlayStation
that.
multiplayer game. That's right.
Now Sea of Thieves will get nominated for
Ongoing.
best ongoing game.
Maybe.
And so should Starfield.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that they opened it
Shut
up.
up, space, baby.
Now that they
Yeah,
opened it
yeah, it
up.
was God of War, by the way. It was God of
It
War.
was God of
It
War.
was.
God of
Holy
War
shit.
won against
How did they
RDR2.
win against
There's,
Red
that's
Dead
so
2?
stupid. Red
It is
Dead 2 won 175 awards, bro.
Mm.
But they
Just
lost the God of
RDR2
War.
easily should have been the game of the year, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
insane.
It was
like,
the game.
the
Was it Red Dead 2 the
storyline.
game of the generation last gen? Like
It
as
could have
far
been.
as quality goes, like I look
Probably.
at it. I don't think anything came out that like it has to come out still to this day. That's like as good as Red Dead 2 since
Spider-Man.
it's come out.
Spider-Man wouldn't be Red Dead. No, I mean, if you had to pick something else, it might be like Witcher or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, outside of that, I mean, RDR2 probably is like the amount of content alone, the world being full of stuff, and like the graphics,
The level of
it's
detail.
insane, right?
Mm.
The
Rockstar's
storyline,
ridiculous.
the emotion, the music, like it should have been game of the year. Like I don't know, like God of War is good, but it's not Red Dead. There's just no way. But yeah, whatever.
But
It's a
Agreed.
whole other discussion.
Sony.
But it is possible
But
GTA
so-
could,
right,
could get
exactly.
like
But
something.
Sony.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yep.
but yeah, so you're saying
But
sorry,
it's
like
the
the Final
Keeleys.
Fantasy 7.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7, I think should, but that's Square. It's not.
And baby
PlayStation or whatever.
steps will be nominated for Game
Yeah.
of the Year.
Yeah.
Mhm. Baby
God help
steps.
us.
Do-do-do-do-do, baby steps. Oh,
Oh my goodness. Baby steps.
goodness. Wow.
Just wait,
what a
man.
show,
Just wait.
guys. Go ahead. You got something else?
No, we're good. Baby steps is the last thing. It'll be Baby Steps, Stellar Blade, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and Helldivers 2. That's 4 of the Game of the Year candidates. Let's go.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. And everybody be like,
No,
going,
I think Stellar
Hmm.
Blade has way too much controversy for it to even be nominated. I doubt that's even going to happen. So Stellar
I think
Blade's
it's going to
out.
get
I don't think so.
Hogwarts, essentially.
But
maybe.
yeah, so but I think like Final Fantasy VII is I think the highest rated one so far, right? So I think that definitely has a good chance. And then Dragon's Dogma, that's probably going to be there.
Dragon's Dogma.
Yes, and it deserves to be.
Yes,
I love that game. That's my game of the year.
What else do we see
so far?
Helldivers, I don't see it. It's possible.
Best ongoing. Like I don't see that as game of the year.
Yeah,
That's
Power
what I
don't.
This will be the year where like 4 indies get in this year,
I would
and
be
they'll
okay
still
with
they'll
that.
still
That'd be
they'll still
awesome.
jack
They're
out
really good. Why
Xbox.
not?
I would
But they'll still jack out
Hi-Fi
Xbox.
Rush for PlayStation gets nominated for Game of the Year.
Oh my god, that would be like so ridiculous.
Star Wars Outlaws might sneak in there too. We gotta wait and
That'd be
see.
cool.
Thieves,
Yeah.
you know, like Sea of Thieves for PlayStation.
Assassin's
Oh,
Creed
God.
Shadows,
Mhm.
good.
Yep, Assassin's Creed Shadow. Although that's the 15th, that's gonna be. I don't.
Yeah, right on
kinda
the
close.
edge.
Yeah.
Right on the
Right
edge.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
One big circle jerk.
One big circle jerk. Absolutely,
Yeah.
Flush. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
Guys,
so that's my only concern with that whole indie thing. I would rather it not like come out in December.
Yeah.
If it can't make
I
it
hear you.
in like November, then just push it to next year. It's fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind that being a February game or something like that.
but they may not want to push it since they've already announced it, and it'll be like doom and gloom if they push one game back.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's already announced. Let's get it out. Fuck it. Get it out. Let's go.
So then I would rather it come out in November. But man, they have too many games though.
Do we see Outer Worlds 2 this year?
November.
Do we see Outer Worlds 2?
Oh, that's a good question. I did love their initial announcement for the best fucking trailer of all
But Obsidian
time.
wanted to put out a game a year, right? That was their internal
Jesus,
goal was to put out a
that's
game a
right.
year.
That is
insane. I don't think so. I hope
don't
not,
see
because
it.
like
I don't
there's
see
too much.
it, but
There's too
it is
much.
They have
Target's
Avowed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They already have Avowed coming
They
out.
haven't Avowed for this year. Do they tease
Right,
Outer
and-
Worlds for
and-
2?
I
for
mean, it
next year?
could
They just
Outer
put
Worlds
out
2 for
Grounded and
VGAs, baby.
Pentiment on other platforms. I would just wait.
Yeah,
Hold it.
Let that one
wait.
bake. Yeah,
Yeah, wait. There's too much. There's too much.
Never enough, Argy. Never enough. Everyone. Just kidding. Oh man,
Yes,
what a
in
great
that it,
show!
like,
Awesome.
It creates a lot of
Awesome.
enthusiasm, right, WebDave? But like the
Oh,
problem
yes.
is of like if you inundate everybody with like too much, it gets lost in the shuffle. You forget that.
It
Oh
does.
yeah, they had that game too. Oh yeah, they had that game too. So
We
you
already
have to
that
focus a
problem
little
now,
bit.
Hargeet.
Yeah.
Yep.
We already do.
So
Try
good.
naming the
Yeah.
games in the second half of this year from everybody.
Right.
It's like you'll forget like
I
10 of
know.
them that you should know, like out the gate. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god!
I think
what a
it's
time to be a
it's
gamer.
3 hours and 15 minutes. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this puppy up. for
Yeah,
tonight.
Dave wants to get out of
So-
here.
We
Let's
did
get
it.
out of here.
Well, it's not that's that. I
that's
value
fine.
your guys' time too, man, and I know you guys got games to play and
Bro.
stuff. And
Yeah, I gotta go save
do.
Tsushima. I gotta go
I
save the
think
island.
I think Caitlin needs her pool boy back and
Whoa,
Cabana pool boy. Oh yeah, that's what she said earlier.
he's got some cleanup duty.
She said mic drop when after Mav's rant. That was awesome. But guys, oh my gosh, thank you, and Hargy, thank you for jumping in. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
but
thanks, buddy.
we're gonna go all the way around the horn. We're gonna get everybody's bars off. So Mav, please tell everybody where they can find you. All the great shows that you have, all the great content. Please let everybody know about Fun Speculation.
I'm going to be passing out the Q-tips to anybody who needs them because there's still some people out there who obviously cannot listen to conversation and actually hear thoughts and understand them. But we will be back for FSP Monday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for PM in the PM, and then Friday Xbox Ultimate Podcast at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And then who knows, maybe show up with a random stream or Mavcast or whatever. But I appreciate anybody who checks out our content. And this was a blast, dude, hanging out with you guys. It's great to have Hargeet pop in with us. 4 days in a row of Pong. I need a break. So we'll be back next week, guys. I hope you all have a good one.
Thank you so much, dude. We really appreciate you being here. And of course, the one, the only, the man who is everywhere, the golden age of gaming god himself,
anymore.
Pong Soul. Buddy, tell everybody where they can find you and all the podcasts you're on, because you're on quite a few still.
Yeah, I don't have enough time anymore. I don't get to be everywhere, but no, thanks again for the invite. Always honored and humbled to be on anybody's show. And like I said, I've been trying to make this work for a long time. I'm glad we could finally get it done.
Yes.
And of course, to have
Thank you.
Mav
Yes, sir.
here, my brother from another, after a 4 days in a row thing. It's always good. Unlike
like
Mav,
4
I
weeks,
still
I guess.
enjoy hearing them. And then of course to have Hargeet jump in here. Hargeet, brother, great to hear your voice, sir, and be live with you, man. So thanks for jumping in here as well. And chat, you guys were absolutely incredible. Huge shows coming out here and supporting these guys, and a lot of the same familiar faces that support all of our shows. Nothing but love and respect to each and every single one of you. I say it all the damn time because I mean it. Again, our shows are nothing without you all, and you guys come out to a lot of shows. So thank you all for being here. Love you all for that. And otherwise, listen, you guys know how to find me. Pong Soul, Xbox, Pong Soul X, formerly known as Twitter, Pong Soul on Steam, Pong Soul on GOG, Pong Soul on Epic, whatever. Find me, I'll find you. Otherwise, next week it starts all over again. I always shout out this man because he's done so much for so many members of the community, even though I'm not on his panels anymore. Double Barrel Games, the channel. Boomstick is the man. Tuesdays, though, always have a special place in this old guy's heart because it is the Xbox Factor podcast. All good things green every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time. Be there, check that out. But of course, my week starts with this dude right here on PM in the PM, Pong and Mav in the PM every Thursday. The Fun Speculation Network, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time. Be there for that. And then, of course, back at it Friday nights, Xbox Ultimate, where the family gets together. You don't know how many people are going to be there, who's going to show up, but we're going to have a lot of laughs and a lot of good talk, though. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. And then Saturday mornings, you got to set your alarm. Oh, boy. Steele and I had 5.5 hours on Saturday yesterday.
Damn.
So, yeah, we went 5.5. Lot to talk about. We get our intros. We didn't get to the first topic for 2.5 hours. Okay? So that's how we just talk games. We talk intros. Our chat starts taking us different directions. We start talking with them. That's what we do on Saturday mornings. We'll take you from your morning to your afternoon, or your afternoon into your evening, depending on where you are in the world. Yeah, absolutely. 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, living split screens, all one word. Just show up, buckle up. We don't care if you spend 5 minutes or 5 hours with us. We're going to love you all the same. So join us there every Saturday. And then, of course, Saturday nights, it's the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam's channel with Blam, Fuzzy, myself, and we usually have a guest or two. We had 3-Bit this week. It's always a great time. Be there. And we had Mav show up as well. So, Shop Podcast, best way to end your Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time for that. Otherwise, everybody, it is the golden age of gaming. We talk a lot of stuff. We talk a lot of high-level stuff. A lot of people don't like us talking about stuff, but we do talk a lot of games because guess what? That's what we are at the end of the day, gamers, and there is no end in sight for games right now. It is ridiculous. Get out there, play what you love what you play, and I'll talk to you all real soon. Thanks again, guys.
A few
Thank you, man.
moments later.
Yes, absolutely.
No, but Pong, thank you, dude, for being here.
Yes.
So much. Mav, Pong, I love you guys, man. And I mean that you guys have a great show. And everybody needs to watch PM in the PM every Thursday. If you don't watch it live, watch the replay. You do not want to miss. It is in depth, and these guys, it is awesome. It's great. And thank you, Hargeet Johnny, for jumping on. We appreciate you. We had a big show with the Fonz earlier tonight, and he's like, I'm still ready to talk games. He's always welcome to jump in with us. And I am dropping a link right now in the chat to Hargeet's book. If you want to click on that link, go over. The books are available. You can buy it in paperback, hardback, or you can also get signed copies with some extra content as well. He's got mugs, shirts, all kinds of cool stuff. So definitely check that out. I actually I got to order mine tonight. I'm going to order it. Then I'm going to send you my real name in there so you I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But you'd be like, yeah, WebDave, whatever. Fat motherfucker. Anyway, but dude, in your book, man, from what I hear, it's pretty good. RHETRI's been praising it so far, so I'm pretty excited to get my copy on it. And I do definitely when I'm buying the copy for sure. But when you get out the audio book version, I want to get that too. And whoever you get to do the voiceover, it's going to be good because you got enough members of the community that could probably do it for you for cheap or for nothing.
Get Fonz to do it.
Fonz will do a great job.
Maybe, right? Yeah.
Fonz would be great.
Yep. So dude, please tell everybody where you're at and where they can find you.
Yep. I mean, so you all got the URL. You can go get the book there. Also, you can join my YouTube channel or just subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll be putting more and more content out there. I did put out a video about the comparison of costs for COD, right? So I'll try to do more things in that vein. Like I usually do analytical stuff, right? So that video shows you exactly how I figured things out. Right? So
that's awesome.
I'll probably do more of those kind of things, and then just normal like comments on things that come up, right? So, and of course, I'll be on Booms as well on Wednesday on Primetime Gaming, and then we'll be following that, with this big, huge Sony announcement that's going to change the world and tell us about their new strategy of Beyond the Barrier. Was that what it was? Beyond the Barrier, Beyond the Boundary, right? That big announcement they made. That Sony's going to be changing their strategy, and it does include PlayStation. So
what was
we'll
their
see
boundary
what that
before, Jim Ryan?
Yeah,
I don't know. It says Beyond the Boundary. That's what their caption is. Beyond the Boundary, right? That's what they have.
Oh, you mean coming to other consoles, right?
Yeah. So like,
how to make money.
Like I think they're going to come to other consoles too, but I don't know. But we'll see, right? We'll see what they announce. But yeah, so check that out, 7 p.m. US Eastern on Double Barrel Gaming's channel, which is Boom's channel, and then followed by the big Sony, the world is changing video, whatever they're gonna have. So we'll see what that's like, and then I'll be on Doodle and C Money's night shift on Friday, 6 p.m. US Eastern, and that's on Point 4 Gamers. Right, and then back to Fonz is right before this on Fonz Gaming channel at 6 p.m. US Eastern on Sundays,
which is a great show, fantastic show. I recommend everybody go watch that. Even if you jump our show later, or if you when they're done watch ours on the replay, whatever. It's all good. To us, it doesn't matter. We appreciate the fan base, and we want everybody to get their product, because a lot of times there's a lot of content. Sometimes we overlap, and that's fine.
I know there's a little overlap, right? Yeah.
But
it's nice being on with Mav and Fox. Well, it's not very often that we get to hang out together, but yeah, it's always good to get the varied perspectives, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
exactly. And then of course,
thanks for having me on.
Oh, dude, welcome.
And RHETRI, so how far are you in the book?
About a quarter of the way.
I was waiting for page 1.
Yeah.
I was waiting
page 1. 1 quarter of page 1.
The first paragraph was amazing, Hargeet.
I was trying to look for like where you had all the names and shit. I'm like, where the fuck is it? Like I thought it was like a forward. I didn't realize it was actually part of the book. I just started flipping through. I was like, oh, there it is. I was like, holy shit, he really named everybody like there. So I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so far so good, man.
I think both of you in there as well. Certainly, WEBDAVE, you guys are in there.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's just it was a fun little thing that I just decided to put in there. You'll figure out why I put it there.
It makes. I did read that part. I'm not gonna lie. It makes sense to like how you did it. I was like, oh, that's clever. I like the way you did that. But man, I'm looking forward to finishing it. But I'll definitely, we'll definitely talk about that some more for sure. But Hardy, it's maybe I'll review it. 10 out of 10. There you go. But it's an open door here for you, brother. So
one last thing, Hardy, just so you know, because I know Hardy is not on social media. Okay, but when Hartley did put out his video, I shared it out on X, on Twitter.
Awesome,
so just so you know, I will continue to do that every time he drops a video. I will share it out so even if it's in a link right there to his YouTube when his videos drop. So never fear.
Yeah,
your friends have got your back. So there you go.
Right, thanks, man.
And
I got you.
Man, thank you, RHETRI, so much, man. Another fantastic show, and you, man, the leader of the ship. I appreciate you steering this on the right course, and dude, and also dropping in the chat your links to your show, and your show is absolutely blowing up too. I love it.
It's going good.
Saturday nights, it's going really great. You got a great panel. You got some great guests, and so, dude, tell everybody about it.
Yeah, Aim Down Sights, guys. We are on Saturday nights at 7 p.m. With Red Dead Panda, my favorite Kiwi from New Zealand, and Next Gen Nero, just a hardcore gamer, man. We just have a lot of fun. We had K Mega on last night. I'm telling you guys, that is a show you're gonna want to watch. We had some drinks during the podcast. It's a fun one. Let's just say that, and it's the longest one. I think we went almost 4 hours. That's very long for for us. We try to keep it like 2.5, and we just had so much fun. We just kept going. But yeah, we're growing. We're finally monetized. So we got a bunch of members already. Like you guys, obviously supporting us. We appreciate you. I saw that. I saw Hargeet's in there. I saw you, WebDave. Thank you guys. Like this, like we say, this community is second to none. I really do mean that. This is why I'm sticking with making Xbox content. I think the community is more important to me than anything. We know we could go make PlayStation fucking content and make fucking 10 times the amount of money and get way more viewers. We don't care about that shit. We care about a community first, and that's what I'm here for. So just happy to be part of this and be able to have a conversation with awesome people like MAV Pong and Hargeet and yourself, WebDave. So I'm humbled, man. I'm just happy to be here. But great show tonight. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean what I say. And thank you everyone who was out talking shit in the chat tonight. You guys cracked me up. You, especially you, Farq. I love you, brother. But yeah, good times, man. Good times.
Some good stuff all the way around. And yes, it is official. Mav rants now have props. So,
yes, sir.
Props for Q-tips.
Q-tips, yeah.
I think he's probably got his own line of Q-tips coming out. Anyway, so with that said, guys, I'll leave you with this as right before for outro, as it were. But thanks everybody for joining us, and thank you everybody for tuning in. Please hit the like button if you haven't done already. Please hit the subscribe button. And before I have another speech impediment, Mav, Pong, Hargeet. Or if you want to abbreviate Mav and Pong, you just call him Mom.
Yeah.
I'll never live that down. Hargeet, you missed that one. Thank God. But anyway, and Epic Treasure, thank you so much for being here, darling. Appreciate you. We're going to have you back on one of these days when you're ready. You just let me know. We'd love to have you on, and you could talk that shit. And the last thing I will say is that the night of the showcase, the 9th, our show is that night, and we are going to have Dirt Griggity and Shaun. That's right. TTS will be here live in the house to talk that shit. Oh my God, it's going to be crazy. And Harky, if you want to jump in, you're more than welcome to too. So just saying. All right, guys, here we go. Woo! Thanks for joining us here on the Gamers Council.
Left, right, left, right, left. Squad up. It don't matter where you been.
It don't matter where you been.
Hop on in, no time to waste.
Hop on in, no time to waste.
Pull up with the Bob, superheroes, no capes.
Pull up with the Bob, superheroes, no capes.